I'm making a sad face now. Welcome back to Secrets of Swanzi, the adventure for Zweihander starter kit. Third session. I'm your Game Master, Daniel Fox. You know these beautiful faces here. We're back to play Secrets of Swanzi. And Kay is back, so we've got a full crew, which is great.
Guess who's back?
Who's back? Kay is back. Grenfala's back, the Dwarven Smuggler. Kay, when you were away, obviously Tim came in and created a character and played, but I don't actually think you missed all that much, which is good. I'm not sure when we're actually going to release this quote episode on YouTube, but I would be remiss if I didn't mention there's only 4 days left on the starter kit Kickstarter, and we're really close to unlocking more tarot cards. There's another 20 tarot cards unlocking for the starter kit. Like, we actually had to go back and resize the box. The starter kit's...
Can I ask what are tarot cards?
Well, those
like actual tarot cards? Or?
Well, they're for spells. Okay. It's on perforated paper. We don't have any examples here, but it's on perforated paper, tarot card size.
Damn, I lobbed you one.
You did. It's a good job.
But I actually wanted to
tell me about tarot cards. No, so all of the Journalist Magic spells in Zweihander are represented inside the starter kit. And we actually unlocked 20 new spell completely. 10 for Arcane Magic and 10 for Divine. So we're going to turn the Divine ones into tarot cards too, if we can hit our $60,000 revenue goal. But that's not why we came here. We came here to play some frickin' Zweihander. So let's go ahead and do some initiative, everybody. Get that rolled up, and we'll do some Cheos. So we're your percentiles, if you would.
Why that?
You know.
Oh, nice.
So off screen, or I guess let's see it. Like Tim is standing and writing our initiative on the initiative board. Always in
What is your name again?
Miserable.
Miserable.
On the bottom.
18? Man, that's a swing and a half, man. Oh, wait. Case back on the board.
It's referred to as Big Siaka
Matt.
Power.
Oh, I got 18 as well.
Not Maryland's. Pick whoever goes
I rolled a
first.
10, so...
I did too.
Oh, so we're
So,
tied.
who's got the highest?
Who wants to go first?
Who's got the highest
first.
Let's
percentage?
go. Okay, I'll go first.
Just choose among yourselves.
Choose.
I mean, I don't want to have like a 18 million roll-off like 10 did the other.
We did last week.
We're gonna roll forever!
Camera slowly zoom
Mr.
in.
Monster.
It's one louder, it's 11.
Oh, we were at 11 too.
That's good. Who wants to go first?
We got a roll off.
You guys have
I'm just gonna leave you in just like
Alright.
last week.
Fine.
Just choose. Yeah, just choose.
Fine.
Choose.
All right. Okay, how do you say your name?
Grafala
Grafala.
and 17.
17.
Yeah.
You didn't tie with anyone.
Nobody!
Total slacker, not playing with you.
So our initiative is set. We do this at the start of every Zweihander game. It's on our initiative board, which you all can't see on screen, but we promise it's there. Everybody roll a d6. Let's see how many fortune points you all start with, and how many misfortune points I start with. Yeah, I can count them, Kay!
Yay.
So I start with 2 misfortune tonight.
Oh, I
Did you roll 6?
rolled 1.
Okay.
Oh. The
Yeah,
K
I rolled
guys.
a 6.
You rolled 6. So you all start with 4 fortune tonight.
Okay, I was like,
Because at the beginning of a game session, everybody rolls 1d6, and if it lands
I'm
on a
not
6,
happy
I get a
with
misfortune point. If it lands on a 1 through 5, you get a fortune point. And those ones, again, can be used to change your fate.
because good means I get.
That's right. So, initiative is rolled. Chaos dice are set. You all received reward points last game session. Kay, go ahead and give yourself 100 reward points, too.
I already did my best.
Sweet. So go ahead and unlock any ability you like from your profession folio. And you should only be unlocking primary attributes or talents at this point, because remember, when you start a character in Zweihander, you get all 10 skill ranks up front, and you get your professional trait. Your trait is professional. What did you choose, Nick?
Impervious Mind.
Nice. Which does... Oh, is that the peril one?
Yeah. When you suffer mental peril, reduce your peril condition track by 1 less step negatively.
That's helpful.
We have 2, right? 2
Yeah, it's 2.
advances.
Yeah, we're
2 unlocks. What did you choose?
I chose incredible numeration.
Oh yeah,
It helps me count and cheat
yeah, that's a good one.
gambling.
So you can count cards.
Yeah.
Counting cards.
Secret signs.
Oh, nice.
I can also read secrets.
Cool. Oh, that's right. Yeah, yeah.
It's runes, signs, it's something else.
Tell me about the signs.
I saw the sign.
But that's like 2 songs. You just don't like, I saw the signs.
Give me 2 on that one. That was
Songs
for
are
me.
okay.
I would say
Puns.
song puns are
There's-
fine.
Okay.
That's two. That means that sign everywhere is sign.
That's right.
It's
That's right.
secret symbols, hand gestures, and signs left behind by others as warnings.
Yeah,
That's,
it's helpful to know.
well, I'm hoping there's something on these bodies.
Signs. We got Matlock over here in his seersucker leather suit, leather armor.
Well, it is kind of that good a day. I need to watch some Matlock so I can get his voice.
You're saying that, yeah.
It's not good.
Who played Matlock? Was it the guy who played Herman Munster? Is that right?
No, it was
Andy Griffith.
Andy Griffith, wasn't it? Yeah, it was the...
Yeah, that seems right.
Oh my gosh, yeah. If we're wrong in this video, please call us out
Whoa.
and then post on Twitter.
That's who it is. It's
Like, comment, and subscribe.
Smash that subscribe button if we're wrong. That's right. Hit that like, smash that subscribe button. By the way, technically all these videos have all these opportunities to like do this, but I don't enable any of it on the videos. And I also disable comments. Because nobody wants to moderate comments on YouTube. No, boo.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
No, they don't got time for that. So,
gamers that work.
that's right. Or gamers at work.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you can go that too.
Yeah. So let's just jump right in, and we already know where this story is going to start tonight.
Yeah.
Rating.
It's
Rating.
Right, it's right inside.
I believe. Let's talk about what happened last game session. Does anyone remember where we left off, where we stopped? You were going to go to the chapter house of the Martyr, but you found some clues.
We,
So you were joined by Inspector Ricken.
Yep.
Or Richin. Is it Ricken or Richin?
Richard.
Richin, okay.
Yeah, so we met underneath the bridge. After that, we decided to go to the West Shore Alley,
Yeah.
where we were able to find a witness to the murder, which we then took back to
Murder
the
of
of the Father Priest guy.
Father Pierre.
Yeah, Father Pierre.
Father Proctor Priest.
Yeah,
We chased him down and tackled him.
Father
That's right.
Proctor Gamble.
Yeah, Father Proctor. It's right. You had a little chase scene with him.
A
Yeah.
little chasing, which we failed really hard on those coordination tests.
Pretty much everyone.
Yeah. We had no problem catching
I think-
up to him. It was capturing.
I think Tim was the one that finally captured him.
Was
Yeah,
it?
Inspector
Oh,
Richins
I
took
actually
him
don't
down.
remember.
We would be lost without you. We wouldn't do
Yes.
anything.
Was it
Yeah.
me or was it Mike? Because I don't remember.
I think it was Inspector Richin.
There's-
If we're wrong, smash that subscribe button.
Yeah.
Inspector Richards would carry this whole thing.
I don't think
Yeah.
I know what the smash subscribe button is.
People ask on YouTube videos to like hit the like button, smash a subscribe if you like this video.
It's the beginning of the video before you've seen anything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're just poking fun at it now.
Okay.
So if we're wrong about who actually captured
Yeah.
I think
Taro,
we are.
was it Taro? Yeah. Smash that subscribe button.
You just say it's a Grafala, and then
If
you're set, right?
Right.
Because then they have to.
So you capture him and you take him back
To
to
the constable's
Constable
office.
Anaya's the store, the cop shop, the
Yeah.
constable's tower.
And after a little questioning, we get that they didn't see anything, but they did hear something. They heard that there were 2 guys arguing with the father, and they accidentally kind of sounded like they accidentally murdered him.
Quick point of clarification: it was 2 people,
Oh, sure, 2 people.
2 people.
2 perps.
2 perps.
He couldn't tell what they were
Yeah, because he wasn't looking.
because he wasn't looking.
So 2
Yeah.
perps.
He was looking away. He was trying to hide. He was scared.
Yeah.
I mean, this is typical crime drama stuff.
So we left them at the constable's office as we then decided to go back across town to the Full Tankard because we were going to check in with
Yeah.
those clothier guys because we found
Yeah.
a couple pieces of gray thread.
That's right.
Yeah,
But
not
it's rusted.
one, but two.
Now we have
Well,
Oh, I'm
the
sorry.
The second one.
I'm
we
sorry.
found
I'm
at
sorry.
the-
Before we went to the full tankard, we checked out that guy's house that got murdered.
Who was what missing?
Maximilian
Maximilian Steaker.
Maximilian, as Nick likes to call
And
him.
that's where we found. That's where I found the.
That's where you found the second gray.
thread, and it's
Thread,
rough
yep.
spun.
It's very rough. Yeah, so it's not expensive.
So your clothiers do not trade in
Clothiers have the fancy stuff.
fancy.
And then from there, I believe we were going to go to the chapter house because we had talked to some people, and maybe go to the conclave, and then maybe the manor. So
Yeah,
we had a couple points of interest in that.
Yeah.
That's
area.
a lot of baby.
But they're all in the same area, so we're like, we
Yeah.
could go to like there.
You cut the monster cut the guy. I'm calling it. Smash the smash button or whatever.
Smash the subscribe button if we're wrong.
Geppetto got it?
Hey, Geppetto. Where'd you put it? Speaking of which, we did miss one important point. We found out Geppetto, being a Wooden Awakened, is full of sap.
Yes.
So anytime you want waffles in the morning, he just has it.
Yeah.
Take his finger off and bloop, 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 bloop.
We did
You know,
decide that.
It's a ritual, you know, like when you see them doing rituals on TV, it's just like, I choose the worst part of the hand to cut open and get some sap out, you know,
Yeah.
rather than just like a tiny little prick somewhere. I gotta just like open it, clear up, make it really hard to
Put
heal.
it all over
On a
your
part of
hands.
your body that you use constantly.
It's
All the
yes.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but hey, I did get a replacement figure.
It's true.
I always wondered why, like in shows, they're always all like, "I'm gonna do some blood magic. I'm gonna cut my hand, but I'm a wizard." It's like, why wouldn't you just cut here and grip it in there?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
So you can still use your hands.
Yeah.
Logic in cartoons. Never been there.
Well, you know, if you're gonna, or when you cut your handle, like, I'm going to make a blood oath. That's like the worst place to cut yourself.
Yeah.
Now you can't use your sword or your shield. Come on. I'll make a blood oath to you.
that's probably for special effects. Like they got it loaded into the special
Yeah.
effects blade, and they like
Well,
spurred it into their
why
hand.
not?
Then
Why don't you just, like, prick, like, the finger you don't use? Right?
Like when you get blood tested? Yeah.
ring,
like- like-
finger. Boop,
Just
here you
your
go. Yeah.
babies.
We're
Yeah,
now
like-
blood brothers. Blood oaths sworn. Yeah.
Boop, just
yeah, that's
Just-
what I do when I
just-
check my blood sugar.
Just the tip. So yeah, we found out that Geppetto is going to give me his life's blood for waffles. Life's blood for the waffle god. No, so we turn back to the exterior of the full tanker. You obviously kind of expended kind of all options there at this point. You know, you have discovered that Vaughn and Zira Hayworth, these two merchants, you know they're staying at the Slumber Inn. And when you checked through the cloth both cloth they left behind, it was all really fancy cloth, like indigo and violet, colored, satin silk, nothing like gray rough spun by any means. But this is dyed wool, no less.
Rough spun, right?
Yeah. So you have some leads to follow.
Where, and then we asked, where could we get rough spun? It's not everywhere. Basically, is what we were basically told, right? Everywhere besides this side of the river.
Yeah, I said most people kind of mend or make their own clothes
Right.
or buy from drapers that pass down through downriver.
Right. We don't need.
None of
Nobody
them.
actually makes this.
It's,
No, most folk just kind of make their own.
it's nothing like the Great Canvas shortage of 2018.
No. Canvas was needed everywhere.
Yes,
yeah. The fallout was incredible.
the fallout was incredible.
Actually, it was pretty horrible. Honestly.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So where do we go next, gentlemen? We want to go see this man of the cloth.
Yeah, I think we were going to go to the chapter house to see the body of Father Proctor.
Father Gear.
Proctor Gamble.
Here. She keeps saying his name.
Do you want to head that way?
Father Peterson.
Anything else you wish?
Yeah.
That was the
Father
plan.
Patrick.
All right.
Father
You You head through West Shore and through the fog and the rain. Your feet can cross a cobbled path. As you know that West Shore and the buildings around here are of better stock than that in East Shore, whereas the roads in East Shore are mostly muddy ruts in the road lane with branches or planks of wood. So corduroy roads on the East Shore. Here on West Shore, it's different. Once you cross that bridge, there's kind of thick cobble lane into the mud. Well maintained during the season, but now that it's kind of raining, it's wet and slick and meandering through here. And eventually you find the chapter house of the Martyr. It's actually surprisingly grand. It's a 2-story vaulted stone cathedral with these huge stained glass windows. Like massive stained glass windows. And you can see dim candles and dying light coming from the windows within. It's a surprisingly large cathedral.
A lot of wealth in this little borough. What is this? What's the head the vicar's name?
Pierre.
Father Pierre is the one that's dead, right?
No, Pierre's dead.
Oh,
Who was the leader of this church? Woman, man? what-
Dibley?
Nibley?
Dibley. Was it Dibley?
I guess we'll find out pretty quick.
Yeah, we can reckon that.
Well, then let's just wrap on this door.
The door is closed, and a red wooden sign on the door reads, "No services today."
Is there a knocker or a rapper or a bell or
Yeah.
whatever there is? I'll pull it, wrap it, or
Okay.
smack it. Rub it down.
Yeah. Oh no! There's a brass hammer on a plate. A brass hammer is hanging by a chain on like an empty metal box inside the stonework. That would probably echo within literally a door knocker.
Okay.
So you knock on the door and you hear this. A few moments passes into the sad voice answers from the other side, and she says, "Sorry, no services today."
Well, we're not looking for services. I'm Inspector Richin, and I'm sent here to the borough here to investigate what's going on. I was wondering if I could check out Father Pierre's body.
I'm so sorry. Father Pierre is in repose.
I don't know what that means, but it might help us solve the rest of these goings on. But is there any way I can take a look at the body?
Go ahead and make a hard charm test. There is a pause and a consideration for a moment. You can't see her, but she seems to be listening. Her voice kind of cracks and breaks as you're kind of talking, and as her voice is being drowned out by yours, as she's trying to get in words, but she kind of lowers her voice and waits for you to finish.
I'll just ramble on.
You know, like, because when you're on a Zoom call and somebody's talking, you're like, "Oh, sorry, excuse me, oh."
Well, I had a 17% chance, and 39 does not do it.
You flipped a failed charm?
No.
Do I flip the filter now?
No.
No,
Nobody
I
does.
just
He has a
I
39
had
now.
terrible fellowship,
Oh.
and you made it hard. and
Well,
I-
you try kind words, and she repeats herself. "I'm so sorry. Father Pierre's body is indeed here in the chapter house, but we are praying for his passage."
Would you not like to see Father Pierre's
Oh, I guess I do have charm.
murderers be brought to justice?
There's a considered pause. Reverend Mother Olivia said not to let anyone into the chapel while Father Pierre is in repose.
I
I'm
understand.
so sorry, there are no services today.
This is a temple of which deity?
The martyr, my child.
The martyr. I understand that the martyr is one for life, childbirth, healing. But that does not prevent you from also following the tenets of the steward, no?
Ooh, make a hard leadership test.
Oh, man.
That one is flipped to fail.
26 flip to fail. Let's see if I can do it.
You just need 11 or 22. You're fine.
Nope, 06 turns into 60.
Oh.
So,
Do they seem to have like a window or anything? They're looking out the door, or are they just speaking to us?
No, they're kind of speaking through this heavy wooden door, which, by the way, is hand carved with all these flora and fauna and animals kind of gathering around the feet of a woman's gray shift as her arms are reached out to welcome those inside. You immediately suspect, Matt Maryland, that this door is not even locked.
So
What-
but she's-
Grafala waves at everybody for a second outside.
She waves from down below because she is a dwarf.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hold up,
okay.
hold up, hold up. Oh, excuse me, gentlemen. I have been trying to pass my way through here. I happen to be a pilgrim of the Martyr. It seems all of you have come to pray. Oh, no services by the... Oh, well, that's such a sad thing. Well, I'd still like to take refuge. Excuse me.
Let me open the door for you. I'm just going to open the door.
You open the door? Okay. Well, you kind of grab the bar and you open it, and by the way, you gain a corruption for not observing the sign.
Yeah.
But he opens the door, and you can see on the other side there is this woman in her 50s. She has kind of tannish looking skin with a frayed gray habit. She's wearing like a nun's wimple around her face. You only see her face. The rest of it's like gray and white. The typical attire for an adherent of the martyr.
Hello there.
Immediately, those who found the gray threads. So Inspector Richin and whoever found the other one, like
Maybe me.
I think it was
you immediately put it together. Like, yes, these are the frayed habits. Yes.
I'm so sorry. I didn't know you were so busy, but I came on my pilgrimage and made my way here, and Oh, is something going on? Services usually would be taking place.
I queued up the wrong music.
That's
Weird French music from a harpsichord. She kind of she doesn't seem alarmed, but she kind of lowers her head in deference as you all kind of push your way in.
well, Matt, I don't know if...
I was just opening the door.
Well, you guys are all pushing in. I'm like,
well, I am.
talking to her.
I don't know if you guys are.
The place smells of frankincense and burning candles.
I guess we're going in.
Oh, we are going in now.
I was going to ask when the repose would be done, but...
The woman looks like she's been crying. Like her eyes are swollen. Her face is like just the tears are still on her cheeks. Like she's clearly mourning.
Grafala will walk over and grab her hands. And I'm so sorry, my fellow. Is there something going on?
Bless you, sister, she says as she grabs your hands. And she takes your hands, trusting you completely, Grafala. And she says, I am mourning over the passage of Father Pierre. He was an adherent, you know.
I did not. I'm from distant lands, but this is a sad day. One of our own?
Unfortunately, yes. Miserable, you are immediately stricken by this overwhelming majesty of this cathedral. It is, whoever made this place was a true architect, a master architect. You can see the stained glass windows inside reflect the dove and hand symbol of the martyr, and it's reflecting in alcoves ever so perfectly to refract off of still pools of water. This place is a marvel, a literal marvel of architecture, of the likes you haven't seen outside of your own lands from beyond. There are symbols of the revered mother everywhere, showing her healing the sick, tending to pregnant women, handing spears to warrior women, and ferrying the dead to the Well of Souls. Like, you immediately feel this, like, intense religious presence here, like this reverence for, well, maybe if you really feel reverence or not is up to you, but this place it's a place of safety and sanctity, and a place where one can be bare themselves before the gods. Grafala, she takes your hands and she seems very, very upset. Like, very upset, like she lost a loved one.
I am so sorry to hear about this passing. Can I ask what happened? It's not often that one of ours passes away in what seems to be an unexpected means.
She takes a pause, and she is loath to mention how he passed. Instead, she kind of collects herself and says, "Someone took him away from me. I mean, from us. Reverend Mother Olivia, our leader and the very architect of this chapter house, was out all last night working with the movement to try to get to the bottom of the missing people. And now she's back at the conclave continuing her quest." She's holding back tears. You can see that she's got like a lump in her throat.
Well, maybe we should let this. Can I simply ask when this repose will be done so that we can continue our investigation? I don't want to impose, and my prayers are with you and her reverendness.
She
would say.
She says, she pauses for a moment, considers, and says that Reverend Mother Olivia has prayed to the great Martyr to quest to find Father Pierre's murderer. Until the murderer is solved, he will remain here. And she turns about, and you can see at the north, at the southeast corner of this massive cathedral, you can see an altar with a pale canvas sheet concealing what must be a body. He's been laying upon the altar.
Your prayers have been answered. That's what we're here to do, to find the murderer.
You have been crying. I cannot tell you our chances, but you have my sympathy.
She fights back tears. Visibly fighting back tears. You immediately pick up, like, it's very apparent to you that she and Father Pierre have some sort of personal relationship. And you also know that the adherents are forbidden from marrying.
Right.
Grafala, like, holds onto her hands a little tighter, like almost a hug, if you will, or whatever. And she goes, "Well, I'm not from here, but I have a chance to maybe... I'd like to help you. Obviously, this was an important man. Important person. What could I do to help? We must stick together, those of us under the Martyr."
You will have to convince her of your lies, but she's pretty easy to convince. Go make a trivial guile test.
Can I do guile or disguise?
Disguise would be fitting. Yeah. Because you're trying to. Now you're not just saying words. You're trying to play the part of an adherent.
That's all right. D8, you said trivial?
Yeah.
Yes, got it.
Nice. She welcomes you all inside and closes the door, kind of keeping the storm without. And she kind of walks you through the chapter house, and it's very evident this may have been at one time a much smaller, humbler building, but they've built literally like arched buttresses inside this place. Like it's
Fancy.
overwhelmingly, like, imagine walking into like a Catholic cathedral in Florence. Like it gives off that, like, it has that baroque, like, all, like, everything is cast in bronze and in ivory and marble. Like, it's a marvelous place to behold.
Marvelous.
Marvelous. Yeah. Every footstep you take, like, is kind of taps upon the swirling marbled floor until it comes upon the center between the pews along this long red carpet that terminates right before the altar, where clearly Father Pierre is lying in repose. And the immediately, like the thing that kind of catches your eye back here, this altar in the sacristy that is behind it is like this huge wooden triptych of the martyr through 3 points in her life in the from the Librum, when she had ascended, when she had joined with the steward, and when her their firstborn Saint Messiah came to the first shore. Like it is. You see, there's a story up on that triptych, and those triptychs are huge, like massive wooden screens that conceal deeper within other alcoves. You can even see a set of stairs that are actually nearby too that winds its way up into the second floor. She points toward the body, and you can see that apparently the body has shifted because his arm is actually hanging out from underneath the canvas.
Oh, we can't have that. And Grafala will step forward, like she's trying to put the body back into repose.
As you do so, like Mother Olivia, or sorry, not Olivia, Mother Eloise literally collapses on the floor onto her knees and starts sobbing. She wails. You can hear it echoing inside the cathedral.
Why don't you help her, and I'll put the body back into repose.
I'll comfort her. So
That's fine.
No, that I should. And Grafala steps back over, and she's putting an arm around her shoulder and whispering just
She will.
comforting thing.
She'll begin kind of whispering a prayer. Please, O great martyr, guide Reverend Mother Olivia in her holy quest to catch Father Peter's murderer. Please, O martyr, guide Reverend Mother Olivia in her holy quest to catch Father Peter's murderer. She keeps repeating it over and over, almost like a mantra. And she's praying hard, like her hands are clasped together so tight. There's tears coming down her eyes, just like you may see on from people who are deeply fervent.
Grafala kind of positions herself so she's blocking view of the body. It
Okay.
almost seems like
Yeah.
she's trying to do it as a comforting thing so she doesn't have to see them moving it, but just giving them
I
time.
love it. That's great. So you've kind of got, at this point, Grafala has Mother Eloise, and she's praying with her.
Occupied.
Yeah, occupied, which leaves the body to all of you to do as you wish, or really this place, in fact.
I don't care about the place. I just want to. I'll take my time examining the body.
Okay.
Since it seems hands and fingers have been especially fruitful, I'll take special note of those with my.
Yeah. Well, you lift the pale canvas sheet off of Father Pierre's body. Do you have indifference?
I do.
Oh, nice. Okay. Did you unlock it already?
I have not.
Oh, okay. Right as you pull it away, you see this really, really bad head wound. Like the back of his head was split open like an egg. There's brain matter and blood. It's still very fresh, and it's very gross. Go ahead and make I need you to make a challenging resolve test. See if you can resist, or else you suffer from stress.
03. I am solid as a snake.
Okay,
You need assistance.
Maybe to help me position it, and yes, please. And I'll kind of direct him over towards the other side to lift him and move him.
Okay.
So I will go and
Yeah.
witness what I witness.
Yeah, as you approach, you can see that Father Pierre's body is bloody, and his gray habit is tattered, and something within you stirs. Maybe this spark of humanity, or perhaps humility, or even just guilt over what you're seeing. Go ahead and make a challenging resolve test, so you're all suffer from stress.
Only resolve is.
Unless you have indifference, of course.
No, I do not. 36.
Even though I don't understand emotions, I got them.
Nice.
So, I failed.
Oh, you failed? Okay.
Yes.
What do you think that what do you think is going through Geppetto's mind as he sees this kind of this person dead? As you suffer 3 mental peril and gain 3 corruption.
Okay, that definitely changes me a bit. Let's see here. I'm still in peril, still unhindered, but yeah, that corruption is going to get to me. So, Geppetto's monster sees that, and this is what you are comprised of. You're remarkably soft on the inside.
We all very fragile.
Your skulls are not. Even though they can be broken, they are not fragile.
Matt Marilyn, what are you and Miserable doing at this point?
I'm taking advantage of the situation to investigate the rest of the church. You said there was a staircase. I want to go up there and take a look around.
I'll hang out with him.
Okay. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Oh, I got the shit.
So Matt Marilyn and Miserable are going to sneak away. Normally, in this situation, if Grafala hadn't have occupied Mother Eloise, you'd have to make stealth tests. However, in this case, you don't.
Yeah, I'm
so,
repeating her prayer just louder so she can't hear anything.
Mm-hmm.
Haha.
So you can see that there is a staircase that is behind or beside the altar, likely taking you to the 2nd floor, but it's not actually the staircase that catches your eye. The area behind the altar, which is called the chancel, it's clear that that triptych was placed there to cover something up. Like something is looming behind it that you can't quite make out that's big, comprised of a shadow, but it's not moving. And in fact, you can see on the floor that this must have been placed here recently, because the triptych itself is not normally placed behind the altar in the sacristy, or in the chancel. This does not look like what you would normally see in a cathedral, or a chapter house of the Martyr. Not only is it grand and ostentatious and truly a modern marvel, but this triptych is unusual in its placement.
Let's see if I can. Is there a way to get behind it to see it's hiding?
You could slip back behind there. You do know that typically only those who have been frocked of the Martyr, so revered mothers, would be allowed to step into the sacristy. Not even Mother Eloise would be allowed back there. Do you still want to go through?
Not Matt. Matt will be like, it's too sacrilegious.
Since it is suspicious, it has piqued my interest. I will go back there. Yes.
17 corruption.
Well, no kidding. Sorry. Well, you make your way back behind there, back behind the triptych, and you find this. It can only be best described as this mostly finished slab of marble, and upon it is this figure of indeterminate gender kind of lazing on their side like this, and at their feet is carved of marble as well, a hammer and chisel. And the figure seems to wear some sort of head wrap, also carved into the stone. And the first thing that this conjures in your mind is, this must be the Nephilim Swanzi, the story you heard back in the Full Tankard.
I think I would look at the hammer and chisel first, seeing it's potentially a weapon. Maybe someone hid back here.
So it's actually carved into the marble.
Oh, it's not a tool. Okay.
No, these are not tools that are left behind. They're actually carved in the marble, which this seems to echo the story of Swanzi, the Nephilim, as they called it here, using their hammer and chisel to redirect the Basque River from the mountains down here.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And then, so outside of that, near around the stairwell, you can see that probably leads up to the dorms. You would guess.
Okay.
Do you want to head up there, or do you want to stay down here?
Sure, let's go up there.
Okay. You lose sight on Miserop, and you come to the second floor. And although you can hear the sounds of sobbing and the echoing, like it's clear this must lead. There's actually a narrow hallway, and there are 3 dorm rooms down this hallway. 2 up on one side and 1 up on the third. You're surprised there's only 3 dorms, but then again, you did suspect this building may have been humbler origins before it was built as such. These look like old stone. They're old like monks' dorms, like rounded wooden door set into like plaster and lath.
Okay.
With little alcoves for burning candles. And there's only 3 doors.
We'll go up to the first one that has of the 2. Because I'm going to assume the one that's by itself is probably the better of the 2 rooms. Like that's probably where like the person that's head of this is there. Because this Father Pierre wasn't the head of this place, was it?
That would be Revered Mother Olivia.
Okay, so then I'm gonna listen to the door, see if I hear anyone in there. Assuming it's not locked, and I assume I don't hear anything, I'm gonna go ahead and open up and kind of peek inside.
You don't really hear anything. These doors they're not paper thin by any means. They're old, very old wooden doors though. Like they've got bent nails and they've got kind of like splintered wood, and like these doors are very, very old. They're much older than the cathedral you saw downstairs. And the door opens without any sort of there's no lock.
Right.
It's true. And you find this very modest door with a bed, a chest of clothes, a small desk with a chair, a shelf of holy scriptures, and some other supplies around here.
Okay. Can I tell if it's like a female's room or a male's room? Like, are they looking for like brushes or anything like that? If it was a female's room?
Well,
'cause I'm wondering if it's her room or maybe his room.
Yeah. So you know that the adherents are ascetics. So you wouldn't find things like mirrors,
Right.
and most of them tend to one another, to groom one another. It's an act of caring and love. In here, you do not find anything like that. However, you do see that there's actually healing supplies in here. Whoever's dorm this is must be the person who attends to the sick. You see like a kind of a healing kit, so to speak, with a number of things inside of it. Bandages, smelling salts, laudanum, and tincture.
It does bring up a question in my mind. Because normally you make bandages with honey. Could we use his maple syrup instead as a replacement reagent? Total aside.
So as you're kind of investigating this dorm, we turn back downstairs. Grafala, I'm assuming you're still kind of
Oh yeah.
with Mother Louise.
And like I said, just echoing her prayer so she can't quite hear.
Yeah.
Like if they're making a little bit of noise, like obviously not screaming it, but like saying the prayer with her so that it's kind of covering any noise they might be making.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
So you are investigating the body, obviously, Inspector Richard, and it's very clear that this person died from cracking their head open. They bled to death. But you actually find something inside the pocket of their robes, of their gray robes. You pull it out and it's a blood-stained note. Do you want to take it?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
You found a clue.
okay.
Robbed of
Are you gonna open it here? You can. You want a chance looking at it here? You certainly can try.
I'll show Giuseppe real quick and right.
Geppetto.
Giuseppe.
I kind of like Giuseppe.
I like Giuseppe.
We should change it. It's
Great British.
Giuseppe.
Geppetto, sorry.
Hey, Geppetto, where'd you put it?
Giuseppe Geppetto, sorry. I'll show him, and then I'll continue scrutinizing the rest of it. But this is probably the only piece of evidence that we're going to find, right? So,
Yeah. What if the death that Father Pierre suffered through was violent?
I'm gonna check all the figures on the hands.
All the fingers are intact.
Okay.
All fingers are.
Fingers are accounted for.
All
Not
10
those
fingers are
toes.
accounted for.
11
I'll
fingers.
start to look around and be like,
His 11th finger.
You're looking around,
What the hell
and-
is Latin?
and you lose sight of everybody. Grafala, like it's clear that Mother Eloise is kind of standing up at this point, and she's finished with her prayers. What do you want to do?
Geppetto.
Grafala.
We'll go ahead and cover the body back up like we were moving it as we said we were.
Right. Well, you don't know that though, because you all are kind of doing your thing right
Oh.
now, while Grafala like is with Mother Eloise. So Mother Eloise, like, she stops sobbing and she kind of picks herself up.
So she's going to like basically give her an embrace or whatever, it's
Uh-huh.
a friendly embrace, and kind of listen for a second to see if it sounds like they're still moving around behind her.
Yeah, you can hear shoveling around.
I think that they're putting him back as he should be, and as he should be resting. And give them a moment. I don't think that you need to see this. Let them take care of it. We will pray for his, immortal being.
Shall we light a candle? She says.
I think we should.
She kind of leans on you for support. She's not leading you where to light the candle.
Looking around to see.
You're like, oh, where was I supposed to go again? What was it like back in Sunday school?
Yeah, that's basically.
Go ahead and make a scrutinize test to remember where you would go. This test will be probably standard for you.
Scrutinize.
Where did we go again?
Did you use folklore too in that?
Use folklore too if you like. Yeah.
I was wondering. because
Scrutinize,
that would-
remember folklore, perhaps, if just gonna call
They're
them.
both the same for me.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I figured they're both the same skill, but
Odd 8, yeah, I got it.
Nice. So yeah, you.
Sunday school paid off. I remember.
So tell us what happens. Like, what do we see?
So she, remembering that the candles are usually near the front, thankfully of the temple, churches, whatever you'd like to call it. She would, of course, pat her friend and gently nudge her along, and very slowly, reverently walking towards the front to once again give everyone their time that they need behind her.
Okay.
She would slowly lead her over to the candles, and she would look for the one that has the longest wick. She'd make sure she would point out, that one looks like it's been lit. Let us find him the best. He deserves only the best as a follower. Like, makes it a point in the show to take her time finding like the best candle,
Yeah.
whatever, for the
As you're igniting candles, Mother Eloise, she says, I lit this one for poor Edgar. May the martyr bless his soul.
for Edgar.
She nods.
And is that another one that's been shepherded on?
Edgar was the one who was found dead this morning as well.
Number 2.
She nods solemnly.
By the gods, what happened with that one?
I don't know what happened with him, but I hope he has family to properly mourn him.
And you have heard nothing? This is not a normal circumstance, it sounds.
Constable Anaya took him back to the constable's offices this morning. All I know is that he was a vagabond.
Vagabond.
She will not say the word refugees, will not say the word like anything that would potentially diminish who he is.
And, so then right there, like bowing her head and everything, like Grafal is going to make like a grand gesture to be like, then let us lock ourselves in prayer that there shouldn't be any more.
She nods.
2 is more than enough.
So you do as such, and we actually turn back to Mizrab. Mizrab. This statue, like 100%, is like echoing like the story you heard. Like this figure, it must be some sort of like pagan representation of Swanzi, although it is hidden in the sacristy behind the triptych. And as your eyes are passing through this dark room, it turns toward this door. And this door, as you look toward it, instantly fills you with dread. It looks like it has been like hollow bits of brass have been kind of created these symbols and in situations on the door that strikes you as incorrect. Looking at the rest of the chapel, it's so obviously different than the rest of this place that this door must be important somehow, although you don't know how or why. But there's these little brass-like kind of pins that have been fashioned into flowers and strange symbols, and then tapped in with little brass nails. But this door is heavily decorated in these things, and they have this kind of like almost arcane sort of, I don't know, the best way to describe it. Like something strikes you as that this is very, very different than the rest of the place.
Like it doesn't fit in with the decor.
No, it does not.
Okay.
It does not.
That's weird. Yeah, I guess I will go to the door and what is it about it that's making me feel uneasy?
There's like this. You feel, as you kind of come toward the door, and you are almost in complete darkness, by the way, save for the light that's passing from the candles inside the chapel. Like, it feels wrong not only to be back here, but this feels extra wrong. Like, you feel the hackles on the back of your neck rise as you get close to it. You can feel the goose pimples on your arms raise as you come closer to the door.
Does it feel like it's the wrong thing to be in the holiest place of the church, or is it like I'm going to the holier place that's in the holy place?
Good question.
I know that's a weird question, but
I would like for you to make a routine incantation test.
It makes sense,
Okay.
especially your
Yeah.
background.
Okay. So routine will be 72% chance to succeed. And that's a success with a 25.
Nice. If you had secret signs, by the way, you would have found this instantly.
Yeah, I figured.
It's very clear that this door has been blessed by some sort of spell. Some sort of miracle or arcane working has been placed upon it to bar those from going within. And those hackles on the back of your neck have not fallen. Like, the goosebumps are still there. Like, even as you're in the room with this door, like, it's hard to focus on anything but the door. And it fills you with dread.
Well, I probably shouldn't touch that door. So I'm gonna. Is there like a knocker or something? Like, how does it open?
Well, there appears to be a simple iron rung in the center of it.
Okay.
To simply pull the door open.
I'm gonna stick my staff in the rung and then pull the staff to open it.
Before you do that, you notice something on the ground. You can see that there are dark stains right in front of the door, like little droplets of blood. Not just one, but many droplets. Not like somebody was dragged through here, but like droplets of blood are spattered all across the floor in different places. And you can see boot prints have spread some of that blood around a little bit. Very thin amount.
Okay.
You gonna open the door with your staff?
Yeah.
I'd like for you to make a challenging toughness test.
Alright. Toughness. That's brawn. 34. Wow, I rolled 15. That's a success.
Nice. Well, as you succeed, there's this flash, and suddenly you're on the ground. You hear no sound. None of you hear anything outside, save for his body collapsing on the ground as you suffer 6 damage. 6 magical damage. The staff is still in your hands. Like, it feels like this jolt of energy as you try to open the door and you're thrown off your feet and fall backwards.
Ugh. Kind of. Ow. Yeah, I'm lightly wounded. Pick myself up. Is the door still shut?
Yeah.
Well, guess I will leave.
You don't want to force it open?
I don't want to get hurt again. I mean, I don't want this door to keep hurting me and pushing me back.
Okay. We turn next to Matt Merrill.
Yep.
So this dorm you have at this point thoroughly turned over as best one can.
I mean,
Have I? Yeah. But there's nothing else to be found in here unless you want to take the medical supplies.
no, I'm not gonna rob a church.
You sure? Okay. It's no big deal.
I mean,
Seems like
all right. So out of the other two, I know
going out.
usually the first door on the left is the bathroom, so I won't go to that one. Instead, I'll go to the next second door on the right.
Okay,
That's
so
right.
so you come to the second dorm room and you listen inside. No sound within, and the door opens simply. And this room is not unlike the one you saw before. However, there are stone sculpting supplies, and there are a few beautiful busts that have been carved of what probably people, whoever the person who was inside this dorm admired, you would guess.
Okay. Do I recognize any of the faces? Are they labeled or at all?
No labels.
Blacks? No, nothing.
One appears to be of a woman wearing a nun's wimple and frock,
Okay.
with her hands kind of positioned like this before her. The other one is of a heavier set man with his fingers steepled beneath his chin like this. The others appear to be of younger folk, a bit esoteric looking, but unusual. Sorry, not esoteric, a bit eccentric looking people
Okay.
that whoever lives in this dorm has carved their likenesses.
Okay.
They're small busts like this, small.
Probably see Father Pierre's.
Might be Father Pierre's.
Yeah, you already figured. They told us he was this
A sculptor.
stone. Yeah.
Okay. So if this is his room.
Sculpturous.
Seeing as these people are pretty,
Sculpture.
I feel like they're pretty
Sculptor.
meticulous as they, So I'm gonna see if does anything look out of place.
It's funny you should mention that, because as you can begin to kind of look around the room, you actually find a number of letters and poems stuffed underneath the mattress of this bed.
So I find his porn stash.
Well, they appear to be written in two people's hands.
Oh, they've got some love letters going on.
Some addressed from a woman named Eloise, and others addressed from Pierre to her.
Okay. So we got Eloise and we got Pierre. All right. I'm gonna snatch him up.
Okay.
Now you're robbing.
Nah. Yeah, I'm taking evidence. All right. I'm
It's
not.
called evidence. It's not stealing if you call it evidence.
It's collecting evidence.
I'm collecting everything. It's like Skyrim. You have to take every cup off
Right,
the
right.
shelf. It's worth one.
Hey,
I mean, the busts are too heavy to carry around. They're not worth the weight to gold
the
ratio.
descriptive text, is it in red?
No, it is not.
Okay, then it's not stealing.
Exactly.
Right.
Well, see what I do is I take a bucket.
There's a bucket on Eloise.
There's a bucket, and I put all the stuff in the bucket, and I pick up the bucket, but I don't actually put it in my inventory, and then I walk out.
That's good.
Oh yeah, it's floating.
Yeah, yeah.
Or we put a bucket on her head.
Or you put a bucket on her head.
Huh? You already put the book.
This is how you take advantage of your inventory in Skyrim.
Yeah.
Or Fallout, or
Now, Fallout, you carried around a mailbox.
that's right. So, you have love letters that are clearly written between Mother Eloise and Father Pierre. Forbidden love. I'm not saying that's an Eloise and Abelard reference. But it's not Abelard.
Yeah.
It's an Abelard reference.
All right.
Secret love.
Yeah. It's a great book if you've never read it. Are you all familiar with this? The letters between two priests, a nun and a priest, nun and a monk.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean,
I feel at this point I'm probably pushing my luck on time, so I'm gonna
Not
probably.
necessarily.
No.
You can still hear sobbing downstairs.
Okay. If I still hear sobbing, then let's go for the third room. Listen.
Well, the door is the same as the others, and there's nothing to be heard inside. As you grab the door, it's locked.
Oh.
Yeah, this one actually has a keyhole on it.
Oh. So it probably is the revered mother's room.
That's the good one.
I know. That's why I'm gonna pick the lock.
Ah, that's right. You have
I have lockpick.
Ba, 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 ba. That's right. It's almost
We're
like a.
impersonating people of the clergy and then breaking into their church to steal shit.
For justice.
We're collecting
That's right.
evidence.
Okay. So we're gonna queue up
Evidence.
the one moment. We have to queue up the lockpick music,
Can somebody get a few candlesticks? Those are obviously evidence, and they're made of gold.
which, by the way, is the pause music to GoldenEye.
Yes, it is.
You get you've seen the video too, I'm sure.
Yeah.
You get down,
I'm a Rambo.
so you get down up on one knee with your lockpicks.
That's right. Gotta play this shit on the xylophone.
So to open this door, you need to make a standard skullduggery test.
Alright.
Why'd they have to make this pause?
It's the
So
marimba
banging.
version of 007.
It is the most badass pause music of all time.
Oh yeah.
You said, I'm sorry, what was the difficulty?
Standard skullduggery.
Standard. Alright, so I've got a 54. I rolled a 98, but I'm going to use a coin to succeed.
Oh,
On it critically, because that's using my gambler's professional trait. That when I use fortune points, you do not need to re-roll to make the skill test. You automatically critically succeed.
nice.
And then I move down the peril step negatively one step. So
Okay.
become imperiled, but I critically succeed. So maybe if you're gonna re-roll, you might critically succeed.
That's right. All right. You hear a click.
Yep.
And the lock tumbles. You place the picks back in their kind of leather satchel and
Yep.
step it back in your waistcoat.
Yeah.
We open the door.
Yeah. And unlock it to leave now. So I'm gonna quietly open the door.
All right. You come inside the room, and it appears to be very spartanly dressed, just like the other two dorms. However, there are these sketches on these big pieces of paper, and they're titled Triumvirate, and they appear to be of 3 different figures lying in repose on a slab of marble.
Okay. So it's like a sketch of what the artist wants to put on marble then.
Yes, and you also find architectural drawings of the chapter house and the Martyr. It's actually on the wall, like the actual schematic that Reverend Mother Olivia must have done or contract somebody to do.
Well, that sounds interesting. I look for a dungeon underneath the church.
It's funny you should mention that because
Just kidding.
you're
Okay.
thinking right now about the placement of the triptych
Yeah.
and where Miserable is
Uh-huh.
back at the doors. We turn to Miserable. You can see that there's a hidden alcove
Okay.
on the schematic, and that they're beyond the door where Miserable is at, a chamber and stairs down. Unfortunately, Miserable did not make his way through and does not have this information. Miserable, what do you want to do?
When I got blasted back, did that strike me as anything that I would be familiar with the spell?
You failed that incantation test.
Yeah.
It's clearly magic, you know
Yeah.
that.
I don't want to trip it again and bust my butt. So I'm gonna get out of there.
Okay.
And
You shuffle outside and you see Grafala at this point walking toward the altar once again with Mother Eloise. I need you to make an easy stealth test.
Easy stealth. Okay.
And you get to add an assist die because Grafala has kept Mother Eloise occupied. So roll an additional
76. Okay. And additional. Yeah, a 6 will do it.
Nice.
Or no, a 4. I'm
A
sorry.
4, nice. So whenever you get an assist die in Zweihander, you roll your percentiles as normal, and whoever's assisting you gives you a tens die. And you roll all the dice together, and you find the best results of the tens die and match it with your units die. So you succeed, and you manage to squeeze out right before Mother Eloise turns to see you. Grafal, you feel this pit open in your stomach as you realize that Matt Merrill is nowhere to be seen. And you see Miserable stumble out from behind the triptych right before Mother Eloise does.
So I kind of look at Miserable, and kind of as I'm like patting her on the shoulder, I kind of like mouth, "Where is he?"
So it's interesting because Siabra speaks still sign. So as she mouths those words, you immediately intuit what she says. Because remember, the Siabra use hand and body gestures to speak, reserving words only from when it's important. So you can pick up on the signs instantly as being one of the Siabra, being of that ancestry.
Yeah, so I would kind of look towards the staircase and kind of point my head towards that direction.
So Grafala kind of nods, and then she's gonna like basically lead Eloise around the far side of the altar so their back is to the stairway.
Okay.
Like, so that they're looking down at the body and everything, and she's gonna like hold her shoulders and everything, and like put her head on her shoulders so that she can kind of like mourn, but
Yeah.
as she's, it looks like they've taken care of him again. He seems to be back at rest. Try to hope that Matt gets his ass down here. And she says that very loudly, like almost not like yelling, but like fairly loudly.
Well, unless somebody wants to make a race against time here, you're going to need to spend a fortune point to edit the situation.
There you go, Matt.
Anyone want to try to get upstairs quick enough before Mother Eloise recognizes what happens? Or will you spend a fortune point to edit the situation and then narrow what happens instead?
What if I just wait and see what happens?
You can do that.
Inspector Richard
That would be more
gonna
interesting.
start walking towards the door. He has found his piece of evidence, and he's done with these fools.
You're leaving the chapel? You're leaving your friends behind?
These are not my friends.
You're leaving them behind?
I am walking
All right.
away. I saw one of them go upstairs, and the other one go behind the up onto the dais. I know both of those are wrong.
As you look toward Miserable, you can see that
I'll
he
just
looks
look
like
at all of them.
he looks like he's in pain.
I'll look at all of them and be like, I'll just start stepping back, and then I will do the whole soldier spin and start walking out.
Spin around on your heel.
This is Tom, and this ain't got shit to do with me.
Alright. Yeah, I mean, because I was going to just look in here, kind of do a quick search, and then probably go back, making sure to lock the door again
Okay.
on my way out.
So quick search.
Okay. So,
Make an arduous awareness test.
That's fair. Like I said, it's just a glance over and
Debating if I want to use it fully.
arduous
Yeah.
awareness. Alright. So normally, that's perception. Things are different on this new sheet. I gotta look at different places. Alright, so it's going to be a 22, which I rolled a 61. But you know what? I'll use another coin to succeed and go down this barrel position.
Oh, right
critically
in
succeed.
time. That's right. Oh, being a gambler's good.
It is.
Oh, yeah.
I'm always
you,
lucky.
You're like It's imagine like if you're in a, like. Imagine that feeling when you're a kid, you're like panicking, you're supposed to clean up your room before your mom and dad got home.
You're
Like that's how you feel right now. You're like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. It's like, so what's the perils coming from? Like
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
and you're incredibly lucky.
Yeah.
You're so lucky you find a hidden journal beneath Reverend Mother Olivia's mattress.
Oh, yeah. I'm stealing all the stuff. I mean, collecting all the evidence. Collecting all
And
the evidence.
you can hear voices down below,
Uh-huh.
and you're pretty sure if you come down those stairs, you'll be heard. But you can hear the pattering of rain on a stained glass window that's partially open where you're right where you're at.
All right. So I'll go back to the door. Like I said, I'll lock it.
Uh-huh.
And then let's crawl out the window, like hang down from the edge, and then drop.
Okay.
This is
Oh,
gonna
I
hurt.
love it. I love it. Outside it is, well, as you can guess.
I look for a cart of hay right outside conveniently.
You hear any pigeons? You're probably okay.
Splat.
That's right. Well, how many feet are a story? 10.
What's that?
How many feet are a story?
How many
10.
feet or what?
And
Ten
it's
story.
Oh, isn't it 10 feet in a story?
Yeah, and you're we'll assume you're at least 6 feet tall, so you're gonna be falling 16 feet, which is how many yards?
Just about 3 yards per.
3 yards per.
So
So
5
yards.
Five.
So-
3.
Ooh, you hit the ground hard. As you oh my god! You fall and you hit and you twist your leg. And I'm so sorry. As
I think you rolled 10.
I can't even say
Yeah.
this out loud. It's so bad. I rolled a 9,
Nice.
and it's 9 plus the number of yards you fell.
Yeah.
Clonk.
So yeah, 3, 6, 9, 12, and so 4 yards. So yeah, you suffer 13 damage
Yeah.
as you hit the
Yeah.
ground
I
hard.
go down 1, 2, 3. A little seriously wounded. It's
Oh my god! I'm so sorry for rolling that.
It's all right.
Second story, man.
Yeah.
Well, if you fall and are seriously wounded, you need to roll a 1d6 chaos die. Because when you fall,
2d6, right? For serious?
oh yes, that's right. Serious. Ooh.
Let's see if I knock myself out.
Gosh.
No, 1 and a 2.
Okay, that's good.
I don't paralyze myself.
That's right. I can't walk anywhere until I'm healed. Yeah, because when you fall in this game, falling damage hurts in Zweihander, just like it, would. You normally roll chaos. I see if you determine any injuries. If you land on phase 6, you're incapacitated until unable to walk until your peril threshold's restored to imperiled or unhindered. So that's good. You're outside. You're wet. Do you all want to make short work of this and try to get out of here?
No.
You want to continue here?
Yeah.
What do you want to do?
I want to talk to Eloise.
I'm going to sit down outside and go,
It's like when when you fall, you stub your toe,
Yeah.
and it hurts so bad, you can't do anything but cuss and
Yeah.
stop. What do you want to say?
I hate to bring this up to you, but we found some suspicious things on the body. I have a few questions for you. Can you answer a few questions?
I suppose I could try my best, although River Mother Olivia won't like it.
Do you remember when they brought his body in?
She nods.
They brought it straight away up to the dais and put the sheet over it. They didn't dally in other areas.
Mother Olivia insisted that he be placed on the altar. There would be no other place that would be appropriate for Father Pierre. That's what she said. She mustered all her strength not to cry, but she and we mourned together after we placed the sheet on him.
I noticed a trail of blood leading behind the triptych. I didn't want to go back there. I know that's a holy place, so I thought I would just ask you to just, if possible, take a look back there.
She widens her eyes. She says, "Only the Reverend Mother is ever allowed in the sacristy, much less the chancel. It's forbidden."
I'm not trying to make any accusations towards anyone, but it just seemed suspicious.
I'm sorry. I'll have to speak to Reverend Mother Olivia about this. You must go.
So, I'm wondering something. The body could not be seen. Nor what was said by her.
Are you saying this out loud?
Yeah, the body could not be seen. But not until not until justice was had. But how can justice be had without knowing everything? Why would that be such a thing? It doesn't make sense.
Reverend Mother Olivia went to speak with the movement. I know that they're trying to find who caught Father Pierre. They're acting swiftly as they can.
Who is the movement?
The folk who have been here in Swanzi, who helped Mother Olivia construct this cathedral, who helped construct the conclave.
It's the art thing we heard about last session. It's above board. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how long has this cathedral been in existence?
I don't know. You need to speak to Reverend Mother Olivia about this. I think you need to leave. You're not allowed behind the sacristy. You've already violated what... She trails off. Kind of before she raises her voice, she realizes that she spoke out of turn. But she's clearly, like, offended and upset.
I mean, again, I'm not trying to make any accusations, but if the Reverend Mother is the only one that's allowed back there, and she's the only one that could have gone back there, I kind of just...
You continue pressing, but you get nowhere with Mother Olivia. Mm-hmm. She continues denying and says you need to speak to Reverend Mother Olivia. It's not her place to say.
So Griffal at this point is, I think she's had enough. I think this is enough. Yes, it's time for you to leave, and I'll say my goodbyes to my friend in the Martyr. And she just kind of looks at you all and goes, "Ow."
You can see at the very far end of the chapel that Inspector Richin is like...
shaking his head at him like...
Did you hear me hide you? What would the two of you like to do? You still don't see Matt Maryland anywhere.
I'm kind of pausing for time because I'm trying to give Matt more time to come down because I don't know.
You don't know that he's outside leaning against the wall.
Yeah.
Going,
There's been an uncomfortable passage of about 10 minutes
Mm-hmm.
at this point.
If they haven't left at this point, I'm just going to go ahead and step out.
Because I'll be like seated on the stairs on the way there, like underneath an audience, and so when he comes out, I'm gonna wave to him.
Yeah, he's at the foot. So right as you walk up the chapel, you can see that Matt Merrill's at the foot of the stairs, rain soaked, holding his leg, and he waves toward you. You all can see. You all can see from here as the door opens that like Inspector Rich is leaning down to like talk to somebody, and you can recognize Matt Maryland's hand and face out in the rain.
I suppose the Reverend Mother will be by here soon. I'll wait here.
She's at the conclave if you want to speak with her.
I'll wait here.
She's at the conclave. Would it not be best to go and speak with her directly? But she is not expecting it.
I'll wait here.
I'm not there, so I don't know.
This is an interesting impasse. What do you normally do in such times?
You must leave, she stands up.
We must leave.
This is the impropriety, she says. You have violated the sanctity of the sacristy. I will not allow you to stay here. Father Pierre, my love is dead on the altar. She raises her voice and it echoes inside the chapel. This is probably the most emotion you've seen out of her at this point.
I tried to get your foolish friends to leave, but I don't know what they're doing in that.
I don't know. I collected some evidence. Hopefully you guys did too.
All right, I'll step outside.
What are you?
Because
Who did they?
As they finally let go, Griffala will turn and she's, I am so sorry. I don't know what was going on there.
I lost myself. I'm so upset. I'm so sorry.
Geppetto leaves without saying goodbye.
I just can't. I can't even muster the strength to say anything. I just need everyone to leave, she says.
She just holds her hand, like squeezes her hand one last time, and she's like, the Martyr will forgive this impropriety, I am certain. And then nods at her and...
The Martyr sees all through truth and lies. She says.
He does.
She. Yeah.
I
We'll assume
didn't
you said
fail.
she.
I
Yeah,
didn't fail that.
Yeah, we assume you know.
Yeah.
You didn't
But
fail.
she does. But she will see in your heart. And she will know that, at least in some way, that you have the best of intentions.
Outside the temple you go with
heads out.
not only a woman in mourning, but now a woman who is clearly perturbed.
I ain't even.
What What are you gonna do? Make me?
You're not gonna go home, but you can't stay here.
Yeah.
That's the Martyr. Outside in the storm, you are standing before this very grand cathedral.
It's 3 a.m. in Westport, and you can't be here anymore.
That's right. It's probably about 3 in the afternoon by now. It's raining. There's fog in the streets here in West Shore.
What'd you do?
I checked out the rooms,
Yeah.
found some love letters and a secret journal, and then jumped out the window.
You found some stories.
I haven't got the chance to read through them, but
Not just smoothest escape, but I guess it worked.
I mean,
The
I
last-
get caught.
The last story really smarts.
Yeah, it's the story you can tell, not the story that you follow.
Perhaps we could find a proper place to read this West Shore story.
Yes.
Well, I just have one question.
Interesting. You should mention that.
What in tarnation were y'all doing?
I do not know.
Investigating.
I was hugging a
What we're
nun.
tired to do.
Those
I
things
know
on.
what you were doing.
Yeah.
I qualify your abilities as
Running
you.
interference.
You're going up on the dais, and I mean, I know you're not of our religion, and I mean, to say the truth, I'm not as much of it as you. Common folk.
I respect the gods as anyone else would.
Sure. That doesn't feel like it the way you just did that.
Well, I just say there's the gods, and there's the servants of the gods. They're fallible, and there's foul play going on around here. I can see it. I saw it. There's blood back there behind the triptych. Someone's been shuffling around, moving things.
No, you mean where that there's a door to the basement there?
Yeah, it's ensorcelled.
I don't know.
Put some sort of trap on it. Threw me back as soon as I touched it.
Well, could be wrong, but it might not be the best thing to be discussing on these stairs. Maybe we go somewhere else.
Yeah,
Yes, we should go to the conclave.
Because I don't think we should go to the conclave yet. Found a bloody note in Pierre's pocket too. I was searching his body.
You want to go back to the constable's office?
Well, I think we should just find. Is there anything else over here that I don't know this burrow?
Yeah. And what's
I mean-
behind that door?
There's the full tankard.
But there doesn't really have private
Doesn't
spaces.
have
That's
any
a
private
drinking place.
space.
I hesitate to leave here because Reverend Mother seems mighty suspicious, considering she's the only one that's allowed back there,
Right then.
and they left a mess of blood.
The hidden journal.
Someone left a mess of blood back there.
And she would not let anyone see the body until justice had come.
So what I'm saying is, if we leave and she comes back, she gets a chance to clean up, hide all the evidence.
Well,
Well,
we can read this here journal and see what she's hiding.
on the steps of.
But not here. We should go back to the constable's office.
Well, I think one of us should stay here and keep watch to make sure that the mother doesn't come back.
And she's gonna come
And
back.
if she does,
That's why I relocked the door.
if she does, we keep an eye on her. That's it. That's all I figure. You guys can go read it. Come back here and fetch me.
You went into the rooms?
I checked all the rooms.
I mean,
Usually the first door on the left is the bathroom.
I used my name, my official name, to get us into this building.
I don't know who I am. They're not
That
knocking left
seems
the
like that
drinks.
is your fault, really.
Listen, I took a gamble and it
Who
paid
are
off,
you
like it
people?
always does.
Hello. I have a name.
I know everyone's name. I mean, what are your characters?
Oh, I am a sellsword.
Besides the talking marmot over here, what is it that you all do? I heard.
I'm sniffing out corruption in this chapel.
I sell my sword.
Lawrence, no, I was born a gambling man.
I mean, really, it depends on the day. Exactly what I'm doing.
I don't. Okay.
Would you like to
okay.
purchase my sword?
No. I'm pretty sure it's mine for free since we're all helping each other right now.
I can let it out to you.
I'm good.
I can even wield it.
That's is especially good also.
It was what I was made to do.
So what do you think?
You seem to have worked into a situation here, haven't you?
I think we got ourselves a mighty fine collection of evidence, and the safest place to go over it would be the constable's office.
I think the ends kind of justify the means here. Just saying.
If you want to stay, that's fine. The constable's office is only about a 10-minute walk.
Yeah. I was gonna say I don't know. Seems like a better idea. Get out of the rain. Maybe get you a bandage.
I mean, I didn't steal that. I should have. Now hindsight being 2020, but
What you didn't steal?
well, I mean, there's a whole healer's kit up there, but you know, I'm not a thief. I'm an investigator right now, so I only
Right
took
now.
the stuff needed.
I've never been able to investigate in such a way, but if it gets us to the end of this thing and gets me home, maybe you'll teach me something.
You know,
Yeah. How about this?
He seems to be able to teach you about gravity right now.
I mean, gravity taught me about gravity. That lesson's been learned.
Maybe it's more he can teach you about the ground.
One should always be
Came in
grounded.
close contact.
Staying, going. Staying.
I'm staying.
Staying, going.
Should I stay?
Or should,
Or
you
should
go
I
now?
go?
If you stay, there will be trouble.
But if I go, there will be double.
I guess you
So
should
you got
stay.
let me know.
Guess your question has been answered.
You
I'm
wish
going.
me to stay.
I do.
I will grant your wish.
Thank you.
Well, I'm not staying out in the rain if I don't have to.
Well, that makes more sense than anything, then. We'll be back.
Come and fetch us once you figure out.
Alright.
So do you want to just camp out on the stairs and wait?
I want to get to a dry spot, if within sight of the door, if possible.
So near the trees.
Okay.
You just knowing kind of where you're at, you can see a building of similar ostentatiousness up on a tall hill from here.
Okay.
The rest of West Shore kind of rambles down toward the river and then rises back once again toward East Shore. The two of you find a nice cozy spot beneath the tree to stay mostly dry and wait. As for the rest of you, the three of you are going back to the constable's office.
Yeah.
Oh, it feels good to get out of the rain. Once you're inside, there's a warm fire. The rain is pitter-pattering on the glass. The smell of Edgar still wafting about in his office. Remember, it's only 2 rooms. Literally the desk where Constable Anaya does her constabling business, if you will. And then there's the jail cell where Edgar Taro's body is laying in repose.
Well, let's take this.
Open or
Let's take a look at this.
Yeah.
I'll pull it out, show it to both of them.
It's a blood-stained note.
Pedo already saw this, but I didn't get to read it. I was trying to be quicker than your fellows.
I know.
Give me the note if you would, please, and I will write down what is on it.
Now, where did you find
Please
that?
make that a synopsis for me, because I don't truly want to read those.
Where did you find that?
Will you be my boyfriend? Yes.
It was in,
Check yes or no.
Yes, absolutely.
It was in Father Pierre's pocket. That would be perfect. It was in Father Pierre's pocket.
Do you like me? Yes or no?
But you gotta do the squares. You gotta do the squares.
So the note is bloodstained, and you kind of unfold it, and it looks like it was kind of hastily placed inside of his pocket. Like it's actually in a secret pocket. And you unfold that bloodstained note, and you read,
We need more. Bring us Morrow Tweed.
Borrow tweed. Tweed's a fabric.
Is the grays?
"Who, me?" The man says. It's inside the. It was inside the constable's office still that you peeled off the street earlier.
We need more. Bring us Morrow Tweed. Is that your old name there, man? That's right. We picked you up off the, in the alleyway.
Hello there.
What?
I
Who wants me? I didn't do anything!
Somebody does, and I'll show him the blood stain.
His eyes widen. I was just trying to leave! I don't know nothing!
Well, I wouldn't go anywhere. I'd stay here and let the constable take care of you.
You see a person across the way, Grafala, who you've never met before, clearly a vagabond or who's been here in Swanzi and has been in there with Constable Anaya. You don't know the story of Morrow Tweed, but they're there with a bindle stiff and all, laying against the wall.
Well, this was the vagabond we found in the alleyway where Pierre died. He got up and he tried to skedaddle, but the old man, Geppetto, I think, tackled him.
Why
Could have been Matt, could have been me, it was one of us.
Who's after me? Morrow Tweed says.
I don't rightly know, but I say if you want to live, I would stay in this building.
Father Pierre? He says, kind of like
I
his
think
voice
Father-
crackling.
Probably Father Pierre's ghost after you, since you won't tell us who did anything to that man.
Father Pierre was asking my name in the alley. And that's when I heard that people come out and assault him. It was
He was asking for you.
he was saying, Morrow Tweed, you need something to eat, Morrow Tweed. Are you okay?
Oh, so you didn't know him before this?
Oh, I know Father Pierre.
So
Does he often
why
come and
didn't
bring you food?
Tell us that
No,
to begin with.
I didn't rightfully account for it in the moment. I mean, after all, I was just trying to leave this damn place, just to save my own life.
From what?
I think you did save your own life by not saying anything.
From what I hear, this place is one of the safest places in the whole country.
Whatever happened, 2 saints must have came out of the shadows and saved me, because if Father Pierre's dead, that means I'm still alive, so God bless the shadows,
What?
he says.
I could be wrong, but I don't think saints usually go around killing people.
That wasn't quite what they meant to do, though. I think.
Well, wait,
You would
so what
assume
did
the
they
back of
mean
his
to
head.
do?
You-
Did they mean to... What, play patty cake? Like, what does one mean to do and accidentally kill someone?
Well, there was a scuffle, and then there was an argument between the two. There was one with a sultry voice and one with a low voice, and I don't know. They sound kind of the same to me. And they were saying something about that they didn't mean for it to happen, and that they were upset that the Father Pierre was dead or something. So they just left him, I suppose. And I didn't get a sight of him. I didn't see him, but I remember their voices.
Sultry,
Voices of saints.
sultry and low. Sultry and low.
Sounded quite the same, those 2 voices.
Saints they would have been, because they saved Morrow's life.
Why, are you a god or something then? Because then wouldn't a saint be saving a god from a priest?
No!
I mean, like, if you go with the hierarchy of...
I don't know. I don't want to pause this again. The Father Pierre's trying to kill me.
I'm just saying...
Constable Anaya!
Wouldn't a saint be more
I need to
likely
get out of
save a
here!
priest?
He says, put me in the jail cell with Edgar Bedlam. I don't care. Just give me somewhere safe. Like, he stands up and he's clearly like, you can see his anxiety is high. Like, he's incredibly nervous. He's like jittering. He's clearly afraid. It's not just comedic, but he is genuinely afraid. And he jumps into the jail cell and slams the door shut. I'm not coming out. You're gonna lock this door. I don't want nobody killing me.
What's with you hanging around with dead people?
What do you mean hanging around dead people?
I mean, the father and then this one.
What?
You just got a thing for hanging around with dead people, it seems like. That's all.
That's rather grim.
Well, you're the one doing it.
Well, what's in that fine parchment that you procured?
The journal? I guess I'll have to start
Well,
through it.
we're not going to say that's what it is. We're saying
The
parchment.
evidence that I'm
Evidence.
still thumbing
The
through.
gathering of parchments from someone else's place.
I'm just trying to-
Is that...
It's a holy ritual, the gathering of parchments.
One of
One of
The,
us has.
the
large
holy thievery of the dormitories.
A large quantity of parchments that have been sewn together in one person's
One of us
body.
still has to work in
Is
this
that
general
what you
area.
want?
Gathering parchments like a parchment family.
Yeah.
Look, I work
It
wherever I
looks
go,
like
so.
when you leapt out the window that the journal was stained in right in the rain, and you've got kind of some of the final passages. The rest, it looks like a journal that had just been begun, but the bottommost passage is illegible at this point.
Okay.
Because you fell out the window.
Okay.
But what's on the card that I gave you, you have
The
available
card?
to read. Did I give you the card?
You gave me a thing, but it's not on my.
Oh, that's right.
All right.
Tell us what.
Read to me.
All locals know the legend of Swanzi's founding. During the turn of the Dawn Age, when the last of a race giants called the Nephilim roamed the land, a terrible drought struck the area. The slow death of the region saddened one of the Nephilim, called Swanzi. The giant was a great sculptor of clay and earth. They swore to save the land. With a chisel and mallet, Swanzi cleaved the earth from the mountains to route the river Basque, so that would become their final resting place. This effort consumed all of Swanzi's strength, and they watched the region revive as they perished over the rest of the age. Over time, pioneers settled the fertile area. A village was erected in the Nephilim's honor, named Swanzi. The members of the Fulci, a collective of extraordinary artists in Swanzi, know that the legend of the village's founding is only half the story. As Swanzi slowly perished in the land, they revived. The plants grew through their body with painful barbs. The animals, no longer dying of thirst, gnawed upon Swanzi's weakened flesh. In their suffering, the Nephilim vowed to remain in the region. They worked so hard to create a true dedication of craft.
God, we got a cold here.
I'm sorry, was that a history lesson?
I mean,
it was basically the story we
Oh
heard.
no, it was way more interesting.
generally I'm pretty lucky, so I would have tried to not fall in on the thing, but thankfully it broke my fall. So.
Look at his leg.
Yeah, I say that sarcastically.
He lifts up a waterlogged journal. Like the first page, or the first 2 pages when this is written across, the bottom of it unfortunately has been lost and destroyed.
So it sounds like it's the same story we heard at the tavern.
A little bit more, though. I mean,
Well, more, because it sounds like this whole movement is now whatever. What did they call themselves in here?
the Fulci,
The juxtapose.
a collective of extraordinary artists. So maybe that explains that whole mural that they had up front and how this
I think it.
chapel became a cathedral.
I think it explains that whole building, the conclave, and all the art. I think I might have jumped to some conclusions on Ms. Robb, and I think Ms. Robb's right. We got ourselves some nefarious folk.
Why would you suspect the Fulci of any sort of nefariousness? Constable Anaya inquires.
Oh, I didn't know she was still here.
Here she is. Yeah.
Okay.
She kind of looks across the room, and she's still at her desk, of course. And she locks the door for Marlowe Tweed as he's inside the room with the dead man, and he's across the way from the jail. He's like as far away as he possibly can be.
I mean, I'm not one to claim that I've seen something that I haven't. You'd have to ask your friend, Ms. Robb.
So when did the
Ms.
church...
Robb and Matt have seen something extraordinary in the temple.
When was the church upgraded from its previous state?
Well, it wasn't in my time. Constable Anaya says it. When my father's, perhaps. But I mean, Lord Franklin Vauxhall spoke. I mean, he's the first person I spoke to when I came. He was very friendly. He indicated that he and Reverend Mother Olivia were both artisans of a sort, and that they had come with the conclave, the Fulci. They call themselves a movement. Most folk call them the movement, but the Fulci name sounds kind of familiar. Maybe it sounds old to me, but they have built up this town as a place of safety. In fact, I said before, unusual things don't happen here.
Well,
And-
I'm about to say it's not safe now.
That is true. A lot of
And
people,
this,
a lot of locals believe in this legend about Swanzi. These other parts of the story, though, I'm not familiar with.
Well, I know they believe in it. They're harvesting bodies, and Moreau was next.
Oh, are you sure about that?
No. One thing leads to another. I'm making assumptions here.
We can't operate on assumptions. We can only operate on evidence.
That's what that bloody stained note was saying, and you heard Moreau saying he
Who
was...
wrote it? Who wrote the note?
I don't know, but Father Pierre was asking him to come with
Can I
him
see
and
it?
try to feed him.
So we know at this point that it's possible Father Pierre was trying to. She turns over her shoulder to hurt Marlowe's weed.
As a-
Maybe. I don't think you understand everything that we found, and I don't know at this point that. Again, I don't want to base on assumptions either, but this is what he has seen. He's not here to defend himself.
Okay.
I'm assuming, based on what he said, and you said they were trustworthy, these folk that you sent me out with, one climbing upstairs and going through
They are my
The
friends. I
rooms.
trust them, but I trust their judgment.
this one getting onto the dais and playing around behind.
You're trying to make a case against four of my closest friends, Inspector Rich, and while I certainly appreciate it,
Whoa! Simmer down now. That is not what I'm saying. I said you sent me with them. They were doing all this crazy stuff, and within doing this crazy stuff, they found this good evidence.
so what do you think we do
If you
from here?
trust your friends, then trust the note.
I can trust the note, but it's not enough to do anything. Father Pierre is dead. Who do we love at the crime at?
Well, I would think.
I'm going to gather all the writing together and see if I can notice any similarities in the handwriting.
On what? I'm sorry.
I'm going to gather the writings together and see if I can notice similarities.
Which writings?
Well, the mysterious note.
No,
We know who wrote the love
the
letters.
notes, the journal, the love letters.
The love letters.
Yeah. So they were written three. So the love letters are written in two different hands.
Right. So I know
Yeah.
one is his, one is hers, and I
Mhm.
know the mother's.
Yes.
Do they look like anything that's that?
Good question. I would like for you to roll a scrutinize test. All right.
Can I assist?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm going to tell them what I'm planning
Can I
to do.
assist with a counterfeit?
I can assist
Hoping.
with a
But I know I have
Yeah.
scrutinized.
Yeah. So
And,
Inspector Richin pulls out the magnifying
probably
glass.
Yeah.
Oh, you're using
Yeah.
yours.
This
No, I
test
can use it.
is challenging.
I know I can't
Challenging.
scrutinize. I thought I had
Perception.
scrutinized. I have.
And you're trying to determine if the writings in Reverend Mother Olivia's journal matches the hidden note.
52.
I've never.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take a 12 or a 12, so
Okay.
thanks.
It is not
Okay.
written in the same hand.
Alright. So we know that none of these three people.
So to be clear,
None of them match.
the writings between Father Pierre and Mother Eloise are by their own hand.
Right.
Reverend Mother Olivia's writing is different than the bloodstained note.
Okay.
And what about, is it the father's writing? No.
I was comparing
Well,
it
we
to
know
all
what
three,
the other
since I had.
It appears to be four different. It appears to be
Four
clearly
different-
four different types of handwriting.
Right.
That other one was just something being used by these other two.
So, I mean, at least we've eliminated 3 suspects from 1 murder.
What did he say else was behind that dais? I think we need to all go and.
Well, there was a drawing, and from the little bit that I saw, like they had like schematics of the cathedral in the Revered Mother's room, and it looks like there was a passage, stairs down below.
Did you tell us what you saw besides the blood?
I said there was a door that was in Sourcel.
You didn't tell us what the statue.
I didn't say anything about the statue.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know anything about the statue. I just know that there's passage, and stairs.
I think we need to all get back together now that we have the evidence that we think. Talk to Mr. Rob and figure out exactly what he saw behind that dais.
No, Inspector Richard, I shall support your investigation, and I believe you true of heart. I harbor no ill will, and please forgive my words. I'm here to help. More importantly, you're here to help
I get
us.
it. You're defending your friends. But what I was trying to say is,
I hear you. I understand you.
like a blink,
The great thing that
they stumbled onto things.
yes, we have discovered at least that the handwriting is different.
It
Yes. So, like I said, we've eliminated 3 suspects and 1 murder, but there's still a lot more to go on.
482 souls remain.
Right.
Was it you?
Is that what people are in? Okay.
Now, because there's missing
Well-
people, dead people, and you.
I mean,
There's 500 souls that live here. Jesus,
Wouldn't
they
me.
took you.
Well,
I
This
don't know if
place
it's a
has
good idea or
been-
not.
This place, as I said before, the stories that these people believe. This is a place where people don't go to die. People live long lives, long, rich lives.
so
No violence upon our doorstep until now.
So, is there more on this Swanzi? Is there requirements to keep this gravy train rolling?
Marcus Gaston seems to be he is probably who the locals most well know for his story. He's the one who parrots it often. He does it for every traveler who passes through, I suppose, in a way to earn money for the full tankard.
Is Mr. Gaston part of the movement?
He is not, nor is his husband Holden.
Ah, all right. Well,
They're not artists, they are tavern keeps.
well, got to ask.
Her mother, Olivia, she is a sponsor of the movement, as is Lord Franklin Vauxhall. He is a painter of sort. And other members of the Fulci here, let's call them, other members of the movement that stay in the conclave. The doors are always open.
Was Father Pierre part of the movement?
Can't say I knew Father Pierre very well, but judging by
His skill was.
the habits I know that he keeps, I suspect he was probably a mason of sort. A free mason.
Free.
He doesn't work on commission.
He was before he became an adherent. He came here as a stone builder. That was years before, though I was here.
I mean, the only other
He
thought I
is
had
usually
was
twice
that-
my age.
No, I mean, the only thought I kind of had was that, her father had kept notes on most people, so I didn't know if we could compare these note to any other writings, but that'd take all day, so we might as well go ask questions.
My father kept laborious notes on the goings-ons of Swanzi, and trust me, I've spent the last year picking through journals and books just trying to understand the history of this place. I haven't even made my way through a quarter of them.
Right.
And they are mostly, truth be told,
Gossip.
trivial bickerings between locals.
Ah,
Nothing of note. No murderings, no kidnappings, no taking aways, no cult, no.
so 90%
Mentions
of
of
our
Swanzi.
job usually.
There's nothing there. I think at this point, really, unless we find something else that may be applicable. So we know Father Pierre clearly intended violence upon Morrow Tween. That somebody else wrote that note. That it was not Reverend Mother Olivia.
Well,
Or the 2 other.
or she has
There,
multiple
so-
handwritings and can use.
Yeah, we can.
That is always an option.
There's many things that could be happening here, but I'm not going to assume any of that. Should we head back and talk to Ms. Rob?
Yeah.
Uh,
We can
just
head back.
No,
As we
sorry.
deposit our evidence
Your
here.
body.
Yeah.
What's that?
We deposit our evidence here.
Yeah, you drop your evidence off, and you're like quest log filling. So you head outside, and you come back to the chapter house of the Martyr.
Fire.
And underneath a tree, you can see they built a little fire that's sputtering to keep themselves warm. The two of them, both waterlogged and soaked, and your friends approach
Well,
amid the storm.
Been watching that door like a hawk. Reverend Mother still hadn't come.
We should go to her.
Well, we found. I think he's got a good idea, but I want to make sure you're. What else did you see back there? The bloodstained note said.
There's footprints. Someone shuffling around back there. Bloodstains on the floor, and there was a graven image of the what's her name? Swanzi, the giantess.
Well, so you said that thing hurt you. Maybe the person tried to go back there and got hurt themselves. Left the blood there.
Maybe.
Well, think about this. It said that bloody note that we found in his pocket said, "We need more. Bring us more of Tweed." And then
Would you hand Tim the card, please?
Sure.
Then Tweed said, "Sorry, I had to stand to see it
Tweed was the drunk.
Yeah.
from the alleyway." That I believe. Hell, I don't remember yesterday. One of us caught him. We all chased one caught. How about
That's
that?
beside the point.
I'm having trouble remembering something about this.
The Tweed man was the vagabond.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you all called him a refugee, but
Yes, tweed is a type of cloth,
and Tweed would be a type of cloth. Yeah.
and another type of cloth is grey rustbun. Whereas, who has grey rustbun? That was a question we had earlier, and it was answered.
It was answered.
But why did we ask that question?
Because it's the priest's clothes that are the gray rust.
Where did we find that grey thread?
We found it
Under the finger.
under the finger of one of the
Of Edgar.
of Edgar,
Of Edgar Bedlam.
And at the
and
scene.
then we also found it at the scene of Maximilian.
In his house.
So it seems like the clergy were involved there somehow.
So it looks like the clergy were involved in trying to collect bodies. And again, we're stacking here. Don't just remember.
The grey thread was underneath a fingernail.
It was.
How does the grey thread get under a fingernail?
Because it looks like he was fighting.
We had to hang.
So, when was Father involved in a fight?
The night before.
And if the person who would get some grey thread under their fingernail,
He was dead.
he was dead,
They were dead at the same. They were found at the same morning, right?
Yeah.
and where was he found?
Underneath the bridge.
Edgar Bedlam was found beneath the bridge.
Right.
Right.
Brother
Yeah, it
Pierre
was
is found on
found.
West Shore Alley.
It was found in the alley.
So somehow Edgar Bedlam,
But remember,
I think they fought each other.
Maximilian at his table, there was two places set, and where it looked like there was that little niche, like what can I think here?
Splinter on the bed.
Splinter in the table. It had grabbed gray
Yes.
rough spun off of somebody who'd been sitting there.
yes, a splinter in a chair had grabbed some rust bugs, so it could also be that Father was in that chair.
I
However-
would say it's a good assumption.
However, that could have happened at any point in time. He could have been over for dinner, he could have been over for counseling, he could have been over for anything.
No, remember, we heard about this Maximilian. He's meticulous. He's very, very orderly.
Very well.
The person who came into the house said that they'd never seen a speck of dirt in
Very
the
well.
house, and he left all that food out.
Then I was incorrect on that.
And remember, the doors were locked. So whoever he let in, he knew him.
What I'm saying is Edgar Bedlam must have still been alive when he had the grey thread, because in order for the grey thread to get under a nail, you would have to grasp towards it.
I agree. I don't know what they were collecting, but there's this swan. It's a statue of Swanzi.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
That sounds
Well,
like.
out of curiosity, I wonder if anybody knows that Edgar person, and I'm curious what he sounds like.
What's got me confused now that you mention it? It's the statue of
The dead
Swanzi.
one.
What he sounds like?
Right. Well, okay. All right. Let's think for a moment. Right. So the drunk dude, the one that likes to hang around with corpses.
Tweed.
Yeah, that one. Well, he said that
I resemble that remark. He would
He
say.
heard-
he was here.
he said that he had some voices, like a sultry and a deep one, and he said, and then he said that they were fighting the priest. Well, Edgar's got like the strings under his fingernails. What if he was one of that killed the priest and then somehow stumbled off and died under a
You know, that's possible. They killed each other?
Oh, I mean, no. So, the Edgar fella, the other corpse, not the holy corpse, but the other corpse, he's, he fights the priest and the thing, and he accidentally kills him, because I don't know what the whole thing was there, but accidentally kills him in front of Tweed, and then wanders off, and maybe they're like, oh crap, he killed a priest, and that's a bad thing, and then they killed him under a bridge. I don't know who that is.
Well, that's the problem. We need to figure out that.
Maybe Edgar Bedlam was a loose thread.
No.
Yeah? I mean, that's what I was saying.
These gray strings are a through line.
I mean, but if you want to be fair, like, all them priests, they all wear this crap, right?
What did Edgar Bedlam do for a living? What was his profession?
Vagabond. That's all I keep saying.
I think he was a refugee too, maybe not though.
Yeah, he was.
It seems like we have Lord's servants, Maximilian, who was courtier. We got Miss Renals, who's a dockmaster, and we got a bunch of just refugees and ruffians.
Huh.
What was Edgar? I cannot read that.
What was Edgar?
It's like
It says dead body on east side with multiple stab wounds under the bridge. Refugee, elderly. He had a horrified look on his face and gray thread between his fingers.
we still don't know where that ring finger came from. So
A dog.
we know that much.
Came from a dog.
Do we want
I think we go.
Mr. Rob, do you want to stay here? Do you want to go to the conclave and have your discussion there with her?
You should go to the conclave.
I don't know if we want to stir too much more trouble than the uppity-ups, but
Even from here, you can see the conclave looming on a tall hill. And almost adjacent to that, not far from there, another manor house. It must be Lord Franklin's.
Well, the way I see it is, that door is mighty suspicious. I think we need to see what's behind it. That woman's running pretty good interference on letting us see, too. She might have to be arrested.
I mean,
oh my hell. Do we have constabulary powers? Because I was not granted such.
As far as I...
The constable specifically said you don't.
right.
Okay,
None of you do, she said in particular. She clarified this point.
I mean, I feel like we would need some mighty strong evidence to go traipsing back there. I mean, I'll sneak into someone's rooms, but I'm not gonna defile a holy place.
I mean,
Yeah, the
Draw a
suspension you got immediately. I mean, the thing that the constable, you weren't there obviously, Nick, but the thing that's pretty clear about Anaya is she's not going to run off a wild goose chase until she has specific evidence pointing toward.
yeah, I know that, but...
Right, sure. No, I'm letting them know, not you,
Yeah.
so they can clarify in character.
Mhm.
Like, she was very adamant about that in that last exchange.
Well, I mean, if you're looking for evidence, the place is covered in blood and boot prints. It seemed mighty fucking suspicious to me. Yeah, I
didn't know all this.
Leave
about
no
the
stone
Swanzi
unturned.
Statue and the blood and the boot prints.
And
Now we got this bloody letter saying, "Hey, we need more O2."
and the statue itself, it just seems out of place in a place of worship like this, you know.
No, it
I
was highly out of place.
I could see maybe a statue of a martyr, but this giantess Swanzi.
I mean, this place is probably a chapel to Swanzi before it was a chapel to Martyr. I mean, the Martyr came after.
Is the martyrs' temples normally so ornate and such a feat of engineering?
I mean, that apparently was more recent of an upgrade, but
The answer to that is no. Usually the martyr chapels are very austere, simple.
But-
The only one in the Libra that has any kind of majesty is usually the steward. You've been to a chapter house, I'm sure, right?
Old Grim and Gold, as they call him.
You've been to, yeah.
Fire, brass, and judgment. Every temple of the steward. The chapter houses the Martyr, you all know, are typically places of solace and comfort and healing to any of all stripe, no matter what social class they come through.
That
all
is
are
true.
welcome there.
Yes.
And to say that I've never seen, the other thing is, I've never seen a martyr. I've never seen a chapter house closed. What if somebody was sick?
Yes. I did think it was awfully suspicious that the only way that we could truly find any evidence is if justice had already been found. Therefore, we cannot find justice because we cannot find evidence. That is very suspicious.
Yeah. I would.
Let's head inside, collect the evidence.
Well, you know,
I think
as
you need to go tell your piece to what's the constable's name?
Anaya.
To Anaya.
But perhaps,
We didn't know your piece.
to use your euphemism of stirring a pot, perhaps we could blow on it first before we stir it.
Go over to the. That's up to y'all.
I figure we
I don't
just
think
let
you should
the
storm through here without Anaya's say so. Because you break down a door, you might get yourself in trouble. I know it doesn't seem to faze the four of you about trouble.
get in trouble with who?
There is a lord that runs this borough.
I mean, the constable.
Do you want to be put on the horns and whipped or hung?
The constable and me we're good friends.
I don't care if the constable is your husband, wife, sister, brother. If the Lord says you go up on the stirrups, you go up on the stirrups. I don't know where you're from.
We'll be in and out in 15 minutes.
A constable is an executive position. Executive meaning they execute the law. Therefore, if the law says to execute you, they will execute you.
That's a better way of putting it. I was trying to make it a little more simple, but that's it. So
I'm not going back there. I mean, I'll do a little, you know, and
I thought I'd make it more simple. You don't shit where you eat, my friend.
How many times do I need to suggest that we go to the conclave?
As many as you want.
I suggest we need to go to the conclave. I suggest we need to go to the conclave. I suggest we need to go to the conclave.
yeah, let's go to the conclave.
Let's go to the conclave.
I suggest you go tell Anaya exactly what you've seen. I don't see why that's such a problem.
I guess we can get around to it, but I don't see the point in talking to her about it until we've got something more substantial, like the evidence behind the door. But I'll go to the conclave with y'all.
Blood? Isn't good enough?
Blood
My
on
God, man.
blood on the floor, footprints everywhere, all this stuff, and we're just gonna let it sit.
Have you ever
Who's
seen?
letting it sit? You are.
Are you telling me to go in there and look?
No, I'm telling you to go to Anaya. How many? Simple and plain. Follow the damn rules.
So every time we find a piece of evidence, we go back to Anaya.
No, but when you find blood where there shouldn't be blood, that seems like a pretty easy one to take back.
I just think we should have a bit more agency than that.
Then to the conclave.
I mean, we're not
To the conclave.
constables. We're independent, private investigators.
Yeah.
If shit's gonna fall down, it's gonna fall down on us.
If someone would just tell me where the fuck I'm supposed to go.
The conclave. We're going
Alright,
to the
let's go there. Yeah, that sounds great. Arguing in the street, sitting outside of the sheriff.
Something just
yelling
doesn't
shit.
sit right with you, Miserable, about this whole situation as you acquiesce to their request. But something is there, and there's this intuition you seem to have about it that they just don't seem to see. But that's okay, because you're all going to the conclave, which is fine.
I agree with you wholeheartedly, but I don't think we should break down tenets of the faith to do it without the authority to do it. There you go.
Fortunately, where you're at the conclave is actually not that far at all. In the rain, you can see it brightly illuminated.
And if she's on her way back, we will catch her.
Yeah, we can escort her back to the church and
Yes.
she can explain the situation to us.
Yes.
I don't believe you're of my same social class because
I'm a burger.
I don't
The-
have the ability to say that people
I'm a
do
bit
what I want to say.
The Fulci Conclave it's a smaller building than you suspected, but it's a very colorful mansion, painted with images of artists, painters, performers, sculptors, and writers sitting at the top of a hill overlooking the river and the rest of the village. Like, they're painted on the sides of this mansion. A gentle giant, who must be Swanzi itself, is among the Fulci paint, or among the movement on the side of this building, watching over all of Swanzi. Like, this must be the tallest hill in all of the village, because it overlooks everything. Above the entrance to the building, you do in fact see, in kind of fanciful script, it says Fulci Conclave, carved over the entrance in bold script. You've heard them called the movement among the village, but this definitely syncs up with the words Fulci. It must be what they call themselves. The doors to the front of the conclave are completely open, by the way.
Great.
Like, the
No,
doors
I
are
might-
open to the to let the
Right, 'cause
player inside.
They said they let people in to view the artwork, right?
They do, yes.
Naya must be kind of blind if you think about it, because she said she didn't really know that word, but it's real big right there.
Well, you know,
You wouldn't know to see unless you were looking for it, to be clear.
it's a big town.
What comes a constable and forgets how to read?
She is my friend. I do not like it when you speak of her that way.
Oh, she's my friend too, that's why I speak of her that way.
It's puzzling.
Yeah, probably.
Well, it's kind of hard for her to get a leg up anywhere, right?
Ah.
We did talk.
She can't defend herself, ain't got a leg to stand on. Ah.
She's that tall up to see.
She's only got one leg.
As you come inside, oh my god!
See, now you're getting it. Now you're getting it.
As you come inside, you can hear a harpsichord being played. What's wrong with me? And a single grand hall takes up the entirety of the conclave's first floor. This huge parlor is arranged with comfortable chairs and circles, where different groups of artists can gather and talk. And in fact, there's one such group gathered in the center of the chamber, listening to a woman in a gray habit speaking in a hushed tone. Beautiful paintings hang all over the walls in here, depicting landscapes and portraits and battle scenes and more, in all manner of artistic styles. Sculptures, from the grotesque to the gorgeous, set on pedestals all around the room. A long, low shelf arranged with books and rolls of parchment runs along the eastern wall of the big room. You can even spy a staircase from here. This woman must be Revered Mother Olivia.
I look for an empty pedestal.
Matt's gonna get distracted
Uh-huh.
and start looking at all the artwork.
Okay.
'Cause
Yeah,
he is sophisticated.
that's right. Yeah, this place is
Actually saying.
one could say that this place is you've never seen such a collection of a myriad of artworks and styles here in your entire lifetime. It's like this place has attracted the best of all artists across the land here in Old Gulistan. We'll put her right in the center here.
But yeah,
She's very
Matt's
tall.
totally gonna get distracted.
Very tall woman,
Well, you guys do it.
who is clearly wearing a gray habit. This must be Reverend Mother Olivia. Put Anaya right here. For those who want to see on camera, this is her. Yeah, you can see that too, I'm sure.
The Reverend Mother guys.
As they're looking at art, I go a couple of pieces down when they're like going along the pieces of art,
Uh-huh.
and then I like make a pose and hold still. wait for them to come by.
Ooh, interesting. Really?
Mhm.
Would you say you're probably the first to enter the room then, save for Matt Maryland?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just trying to see if I can become a fly on the wall.
I love it. Roll a challenging stealth test.
Challenging stealth test.
You're still as a statue.
That'll be 38%.
Doing the robot.
71. Should I re-roll it?
Do you, bud?
Yeah, I want to do it. It's a bad idea.
Yes, it's fun.
38%. Nope.
Okay, as you begin walking forward, you
thought it
think
was.
you're pretty sure if you continue on, you're going to be seen immediately. That
Okay.
you will disrupt their conversation. You notice that she is very tall, with a face full of freckles in her early 50s, but she looks very, very young despite her age. She's standing with a pair, three people kind of talking quietly in this circle of chairs. And there are many, many different plush chairs around here in a circle. Only they are inside this room.
Okay,
Grifala, Inspector Richin, Ms. Rob, what are the three of you going to do?
I'll go and approach the conversation.
Okay.
I'm observing next to Matt.
Yeah, we're looking at art.
Because, yeah,
We
we
got nothing to do here.
tend to look at art.
Yeah.
Look.
What about you, Inspector Richin?
You got nothing to do with me. I'm just gonna hang back, and watch the madness happen.
As you're approaching Ms. Rob, I'd like for you to make a routine eavesdrop test.
So that's perception. 72. That's a success.
Nice. As you are approaching, you hear Reverend Mother Olivia say, in a very calm voice, Father Pierre was murdered. I have no doubt we are the target now. We must discover who is trying to kill us and why. Perhaps we should set the muse upon them. But there's no telling what will happen next. The conversation's broken up as you approach, and Reverend Mother Olivia turns toward you with her hands folded inside of her robes and says, Welcome, friend.
Good afternoon. The Reverend Mother, I presume?
I am. These are aesthetics of the conclave. This is Waverly Hill, a sculptor. Rupi Prish, a poetess. And Cyrus Sutter, he is a novelist.
Good day to you all. Yeah, Ms. Rob gives us a short bow.
The sculptor, Waverly Hill, kind of stands up and says, May we have the honor of your name, friend?
Yes, my name is Ms. Rob.
Ah, a pleasure, he says, bowing. Your mask is simply marvelous. Did you carve it yourself?
I did. Thank you.
Interesting. Then you are a subject, or you are an aficionado of the arts, then. Have you come to learn from the masters?
That's not the purpose of my visit, no. Reverend Mother, if I may have a moment to speak with you in private.
She turns to Cyrus and Ruby and Waverly, these three other members of the movement. She smiles and speaks. She appears to be distraught, like something's on her mind, and only you heard what she said.
Hello.
Are you talking to her mother?
I'm talking to anyone that will pay attention.
Hello, young Rupi Prish says. She must be 11 years old.
I have a name.
Please tell me your name.
No. Most people call me Geppetto.
Well, Geppetto. It is a pleasure to meet you. Whoever, your master must have been a master of masters. She's this young 11-year-old girl is admiring the handiwork of the wood.
I did not know of any interim in between my master and myself.
If I was to look sideways, I would think that you were one of the statues amid the hall.
I should aspire to be so still, but I cannot hold so still for so long.
You look worn out, she says as she looks toward the broken sword.
I am missing a finger as well.
Oh, it's terrible to hear. Has your master not set to see this right?
Well, I did find another. I just have yet to have it attached.
That's right. Oh my. Well, she pauses for a moment. I'm Rupee. My friend, Waverly, Master Hill. Master Hill's a sculptor. I am. He turns as he's kind of extending his hand to Miserable to shake it.
Perhaps, if you were a sculptor, you were also a whittler.
Indeed. When I was just a wee lad, still in my short pants, my father taught me how to whittle. My mother as well. She was a woodworker, you see.
When I was a log, I was not taught how to whittle.
Aha. Indeed. He's trying not to, make a fence or anything, because he clearly kind of understands what's up, right?
Yeah, and meanwhile, Geppetto's wondering why they're not laughing.
It's like, damn, that's my A material.
Forgive me. Or the Reverend Mother says, forgive me, it appears that you have not come alone.
Yes, my
Friends, one and all, please, join us.
Oh,
Or wait. Have you seen this painting before? Reverend Mother Livia says.
have I? No.
This grotesquerie, as they call it in the City of Lights, is called The Fall of Mankind. It was painted by Malin Fulci himself. You see this kind of long brass frame, and in the center of it is this abstract piece that looks like fire and flame consumed by darkness as there's this figure in white falling through. It's a disturbing looking painting. In the sense that it's disturbing, that it's thought provoking. To someone of your caliber, to others it may appear disturbing. Master Malin Fulci made this himself when he was 22.
Inspiring.
This is one of the first pieces of art I saw back in the City of Lights when I was still young. I must have been 40 years ago at this point. Her face is filled with freckles, and that's when you start to see, you can see the long lines beneath her eyes. Even though she is a priestess, it is clear that, she's able to hide her elderly age. She's in her 50s, so that old, but her face is fairly fresh still.
Reverend Mother, we are the task force assigned by Constable Anaya to investigate the recent murders in Swanzi.
She nods.
Our investigation has led us to
Father Pierre, she
Father
says.
Pierre. Yes.
Yes, she says. Waverly and Prish and Rupee, we were just discussing that. Father Pierre, she pauses for a moment, and you can see that she's upset, but she composes herself. Father Pierre was my second.
I see.
His beyond being a person of good spirit, he is second only to Lord Franklin Vauxhall in his mastery of the hammer and chisel.
I hope you will be pleased to hear that our investigation has led us to believe that you are not a suspect in the murder of Father Pierre.
She's taken aback for a moment, and she kind of pauses and considers and says, "You would not be an effective task force if you did not look to me as a potential suspect. You must be Constable Anaya's friends."
I am.
I'm pleased to hear this, truly. Constable Anaya and her father before her are... And she tries to find the words from it, because I'm actually trying to find the words. She is a pillar of this community. She is as important to Swanzi as the brush and the paints are to the canvas. Without law and order, there would be no safety or sanctity in this city.
Well, there currently isn't.
Well,
Chaos has visited our doorstep, yes, she says.
We took a look around your temple. I apologize if that was improprietous of us, but we noticed some suspicious clues leading around the area to where, if I'm to understand, is a most sacred area. I daren't go back there to investigate, but we wanted to approach you to see if you could do that for us, considering your standing in the community and your, you could take a look back there and see what's going on. I noticed some blood in the area, and
Blood in the chapter house?
yes,
Not on the altar.
There was
Not on
blood
the-
on the altar.
on the altar, yes, but in other areas too. We wanted you to come and
She seems taken aback by this.
take a look at some of this because it seemed mighty suspicious, and I hesitated to go back there. It didn't seem right. Behind the triptych, I mean.
She sighs and kind of folds her hands in her robes and says, let's go back to the chapter house.
Thank you.
Master Hill, Ruby, Prish, if you will, we can continue our conversation later this evening. The three of them nod and bow toward Grandmother Olivia, recognizing.
Does this seem suspicious to me, like that sort of deference?
Bowing to a priestess, yes.
Okay, it does seem suspicious.
It seems unusual. I don't know about suspicious. Suspicion's a loaded word.
Okay,
it
so
seems
unusual. It's not something I would typically see.
Right, you
So like, it is unusual.
It's
though.
unusual. Okay.
Yeah.
Tall too.
Yeah, that's what I didn't mean.
No. Yeah, just to be clear, though. Yeah, it seems unusual.
Okay.
Does she seem to have like a lordly manner to her? Like, does she seem like well etiquetted?
She walks with a very straight back. She clearly is somebody who's been educated in the arts.
Yeah.
She already admitted to that when she pointed toward the painting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Does she feel like she would have been of the aristocrat social class before she became a nun?
Go ahead and make a challenging scrutinize test on that,
Okay. Scrutinize.
or rumor.
I think my scrutinize is going to be better. Yeah. Alright, 42. That's 20, so that's a success.
Yeah, that's an interesting question. You suspect that she is probably from the middle class.
Yeah, she's a burger.
She's a burger.
Okay.
Shall we retire to the chapter house?
Sure.
I appreciate that.
I'm certain, she says as it begins to rain outside, that you met with Mother Eloise.
Yes, but she was very distraught.
Yes.
Yes, the passing of Father Pierre is as immediate as it came. If we may speak plainly for a moment, if you have Constable Anaya's trust, then I will give you mine.
They will love us.
It is not permitted formally in the chapter house, the pairing of two adherents. Typically, adherents, when they do marry, it is with somebody who is outside the priesthood. In the city, ideally of a priest of the steward, a preacher of the steward. Both were beholden to the martyr. Both have very kind hearts. The passage of Father Pierre struck us all very deeply. I'm not sure who was behind it. I don't know why they would target a priest. But please, let me take care of Mother Eloise when we go, so that so we do not upset her again more.
While she's busy talking to them, I'm just gonna scan her habit to see if there's any phrase.
Okay. Roll a routine awareness or scrutinize test.
Okay, we're going awareness. Perception.
Look at her.
71. 62 success.
One moment, write something down. Here we are. You arrive back at the chapter house. Please, if you would, follow me.
Open the door for her.
You open the door. Both the double doors groan, opening inside. Yeah,
Like
and
Dark Souls.
into the
Oh
into
man,
the chapter.
I wanted
house
to
you
open
go.
the door.
Too bad.
Ah,
It's good. And you feel once again you're back in the presence of the chapel, like that kind of weight of being like in a place that's supposed to be a sanctuary of truth and of life, especially of the martyr. Reverend Mother Olivia speaks with Mother Eloise, and Mother Eloise is, she comforts her. Like, it's clear that they both care deeply about Father Pierre. And she excuses Mother Eloise to the dormitories upstairs. Takes her to the stairwell, walks her there, and places her hand upon her, gives her a kiss on each cheek beneath of her eyes. She sheds tears, too, with Mother Eloise. This is traditional. It is believed that the tears of the adherents is what can give comfort. They weep. It is said in stories that they weep upon wounds, and that it will bring life back to those who have been hurt. And a woman of Reverend Mother Olivia's standing probably, would indicate in particular to you, Ms. Rob, that she probably has the gift, that she is one of the chosen. None of you would know this, because none of you have incantation. Only Mr. Rob. He's an etherealist. So, she brings Mother Eloise upstairs, and or takes Mother. She comes back down, and that's when her mood darkens. Her demeanor becomes darker, and she begins speaking aloud this information. Nobody's in sight, that the movement's not there, that Eloise is not there. She says plainly, "We draw power from the muse, the spirit of Swanzi. They live under this very land and whisper secrets of creation to pay them homage. We call ourselves the Fulci. What questions would you have of me? Outsiders." She does not say it so accusingly, but her demeanor completely changes, as does her
kidnapping
voice.
people and killing them in some kind of weird sacrifice to whatever the hell you just said?
Our dedication to the muse harms no one, but we keep it secret because there are fanatics who would call us heretics.
was the father someone who would have called you a fanatic, or would he have been one of you?
Father Pierre was in the Fulci, as are most of the priests here, as are young Waverly and Ruby, and those you met before. The girl, she is as well.
Was Edgar Bedlam?
Edgar Bedlam is doubtlessly part of the group that seeks our demise. He attacked Lord Franklin Vauxhall just the night before, with me, leaping from the shadows.
He attacked you too.
We had to defend ourselves.
I point to her sleeve. He had your rough spine under his fingernail.
Constable and I,
What about Maximilian?
Maximilian Steger, the Vorburger, you can't speak to him. He's new to this place. He's not local.
So he's not part of your Fulci.
No.
Why was the rough spun also in his house? before he disappeared?
I believe he had a friendship with Father Pierre. I had seen them talking together before. Father Pierre had said that he wanted to carve his likeness. Maximilian Steger has a look about him. You know when you see it. He's the kind of person you would suspect with a name like that. Strong jaw, Aquilinian nose, clearly an Eridane man.
Is it possible Father Pierre may have been involved in some scheme of betrayal towards you?
No. We, Father Pierre, and I, and Lord Vauxhall, we suspected someone was targeting our members when Hale, Larkspur, and Proctor Lamb went missing. Father Pierre's murder last night simply confirmed it. Someone is after us.
Why was this found on Pierre's body then? It says, we need more, bring us Moro Tweed.
She looks at the page. May I see that?
Surely.
That is Lord Franklin Vauxhall's writing.
What does that mean? We need more, bring us Moro Tweed. More of what?
More inspiration.
I thought you got your inspiration from these muses below the city.
We do.
So
What do you
why
need?
would he need Morrow Tweed if he is above the city, not below?
Tell me what you know of Swanzi. Not of the giantess, but of the village itself.
Trade town along the river, very prosperous.
Split in two.
Two halves, one on one side of the river, one on the other. And there must be and I'll look around, immense wealth from these two buildings alone.
We have wealth, but there is something greater that the people of Swansea have. The people here live long lives.
How long?
They do not want for anything. The Muse provides. The Muse provides.
Yeah, I don't know what any of that means, but well, this still doesn't make any sense. Why do you need Moro Tweed if the Muse provides? Is the Muse not providing Tweed?
Does the muse need inspiration? Does the muse need a muse?
We pay homage to the Muse with small, petty sacrifices. She raises her hand and you can see it's bandaged. I have sacrificed many times to the Muse to find my own inspiration. A drip of blood here, a drab of that there.
A dead vagabond here or there?
Edgar Bedlam sought the Fulce's demise. He attacked Lord Franklin Vauxhall and
I
I.
don't give a hoot about this Bedlam man. I was asking about Tweed. And this mysterious note that's got blood all over it and was found in Pierre's body. And when he went to look for Moreau, he was offering him food, which he's never done before. Sounds mighty suspicious. Sounds like a sacrifice.
The Muse has a thirst for inspiration, which cannot be readily slaked. Father Pierre may have been errant in his judgment.
Oh, the Lord might have been, since you said this is his handwriting.
For those who feed the Muse its energy, it provides inspiration, potency, and long life to those who live within the confines of Swansea.
Well, you have some faction that doesn't like it. It sounds like.
Fanatics,
I think
guaranteed.
that's a little bit of the pot calling the kettle here, but we'll move on from that.
We see to the life of the people here in Swanzi.
You're
What is-
sacrificing people to this muse thing.
There is no sacrifice at all.
It's Moro Tweed. What was he for again? Small, trivial sacrifices, I believe was your exact
I know
statement.
nothing of the death of Morrow Tweed.
He's not dead. He was... Pierre was killed before he could get him.
I believe inspiration right now is being used as a euphemism when we are looking for a literal meaning behind it.
Let me be clear. Your investigations have brought you to us. It is not surprising.
No.
There is no need for violence here.
None has been offered.
Oh, we're trying to put an end to the violence.
So the violence, I offer you opportunity. I offer you opportunity beyond your wildest imagination.
Opportunity. May we
Go
see-
on.
I told you. Here in Swansea, people live unblemished by the passage of time. I am 172 years old. Lord Vauxhall, 101. Father Pierre was 70, yet he had the build of a man of his 50s.
I am 6 months. That is a very long time.
The Muse provides.
So what has happened to Stiga? What has happened to Lander? What has happened to all these other folks? I mean, they're gone missing.
I can't speak to the missing Dockmaster, but I do know one thing. There are other outsiders in Swansea seeking to undo the inspiration that the Muse provides to keep us all alive and safe. Well-fed, rich.
Who are these?
Fanatics from the City of Lights. Fanatics from Cahabro. Witchhammer.
Are you seeking protection from them?
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Did you just say Witchhammer?
I would suspect nobody else. I will give you 600 gold crowns if you can identify who they are and take care of them. I will give you a home here in Swansea. You will have the Muse's protection. You can live as long as you want. You can eat and dine and do as you wish until your long elder days. 600 crowns is only my starting offer.
What do you mean by take care of them?
I believe she means employ someone like me.
Inspector Richard,
Well,
I am a
trying
priest of
not
the
to be
Martyr.
coy, and you are a priest of the Martyr.
I am.
Doublespeak does not work for me.
I care deeply about the people of Swansea. And if Witchhammer is afoot, if they seek to do us in, I fear for what happens to the people here.
Burn you out.
It is a double bind. The Muse, as I said, its spirit is hard to slake. Slake its spirit, Inspector Richard. Is that clear enough?
It is, but can you tell you have no idea what Maximilian is at?
She shakes her head. I could not say.
Where does one slake the spirit?
She points toward the triptych. There is a door where you saw the blood. It is where I offer my petty offerings to the door to go below into Swansea.
Let's have a look. Let's have a look. See then.
She holds her hand up.
I think you have to prove your worth there.
Before we get to that, below, in the Muse's lair, there is a place, an altar, carved before we even came here, of Swanzi herself. It is there where we have slaked the spirit with our own life's blood. But the muse desires more. Bring Witchhammer here. We will slake the spirit. We shall find inspiration, and Swanzi shall continue. Its people shall be safe. It shall be fed, untouched by war, untouched by death.
For how long?
For a time.
And then it will need to be repeated.
She nods.
Let's say we do this. What keeps more Witchhammer from coming when their agents disappear?
If Witchhammer from the City of Lights have come this far, they have not sent out some mere field agents. It'll be someone of note. This will send a strong message. The City of Lights, Cahebro.
I mean, I don't know a lot about Witchhammer, but I've been around for a bit. They don't generally tend to give up. they tend to persecute until, the whatever is causing the problems has been eradicated.
You know the story of Vesemir the Puritan.
I've probably
Who
heard of
lived
it.
twice to see his ends met. Do you know how Vesemir the Puritan was done in?
How was that?
He fell to his doom on a stone at the side of a cliff.
Okay.
How do we prove to them that you are not something worth hunting?
The tallest poppy gets the scythe. See to the Witchhammer is done. Taken below the sacristy, and I will give you what I have offered. And the people of Swanzi will continue onward, and will be fortunate and thankful for all of your sacrifice. And you will be rich as any person can imagine, in life and health and in coin if you so wish it.
Right then,
I do not.
how did your sheriff die if all the people in Swansea are supposedly protected by this muse?
Constable Denaya's father was very old when he came here.
Yeah.
He was fortunate to live another 40 years until he passed. When he passed, he was 98. Most folk his age live until 50. If he's lucky. If you're lucky.
Especially if they lived a
Wait.
life of a constable.
You're 172 and he died at 90.
She must have started earlier.
She's
I have lived in service to Malin Fulci and his movement for most of my adult life. Vesemir the Puritan was only the first, and that happened 2 decades ago. Whatever led them here, 2 decades later, 2,
Where
they
is?
seek all of us harm.
Do you know where Witchhammer is?
That's what she's asking us to find out.
We need to find
She
Witchhammer.
must have suspects.
Why did they come here in the first place? If all you've been doing is keeping people in Swansea all safe and shit,
I mean-
like what make them come here?
Witchhammer. If you do not know much of them, they are a group of fanatics that
I know.
are ceaseless in their desire to squash anything that exists outside of their faith and religion. Anything they see that may be counter to the covenant. The Muse and Swanzi are counter to the covenant, yes, but it is a sacrifice worth making. I am still in the Martyr's good graces. I am still giving her miracles that benefit through ritual and sacrifice. And the Muse serves us. Keeps us safe.
Does she really believe that?
What's that?
Does she really believe that?
Roll trivial scrutinize test.
So you got all these martyrs gifts and all that. Can you heal people?
The Martyr does not... Oh, I'm sorry. What did you ask? I'm sorry.
Can you heal people?
I have been given her benefact.
Success.
Yes.
So he's not looking so right.
I had stitched wounds before. She fully believes it.
Okay.
Witchhammer has a history of persecution, torture, and violence. This is known.
Well, he's not looking so ripe. That's why I was asking if if you got that healing touch thing.
If you all agree to this, if you are willing to agree to this, to see Witchhammer brought before the Muse, if you agree to this, here and now, you will have free reign of Swanzi in the future. Once this task is done.
It just seems.
And when it is time to bring them before the Muse, I will give you the key to the door beyond the sacristy.
So
You can see for yourselves, eyes unclouded, ears unabated by my own words. You will understand what I am talking about. You will see for yourself what the Muse can offer.
Unless we are to be inspiration.
Oh yeah, he brings up a good point. What if you just want us to go down there and be,
I'll agree to your offer if I can see the chamber beneath first.
That is not going to happen.
What do you have to hide?
There's nothing to hide, but unless you are prepared to make a sacrifice, you cannot pass through that door. You are not prepared. I have spent decades in study of Swanzi and the Muse. It has taken me years to master this. It has taken me nearly 30 to simply master the petty sacrifice at the door. The sacrifices that are required further down below are greater. You don't have the power to control it. Not without something to give.
And if you have to sacrifice something at the door, what's to say that 5 of us is not a great one? Just saying.
I am of the martyrdom. I do not bear weapons, nor do I use violence, save for the petty sacrifice I make at the door. And it is a sacrifice worth making for the good of this city.
Right, so you make the petty sacrifice here, but down below, what sacrifice do you give?
You want to judge me, but it's because you don't understand me.
I ain't judging. I'm trying to make sure that you're not going to end up, down there. Like, that seems like that's kind of my self-preservation just kicking in.
yeah, like Maximilian, Lander,
Edgar. Morrow Tweet, the fabric guy, it's...
I mean,
How much time do we have to consider? My maker once told me, if you have a deal, that seems too good to be true. You should consider it for 24 hours before saying yes.
She invokes a learner's name and pulls out a single hourglass and says, 1 minute, and we'll stop there for the night. 100 reward points, everybody.
All right.
And you doubted me.
I didn't know. Yeah,
Quick aside: this one turned out a lot darker than the other section, which is James Picasso. Not a bad thing. And I don't even know how it ends. I don't know how they ended it, and this is not even near the end. Like there are more. It is called Secrets of Swanzi for a reason. So we've been kind of given a critical kind of story point to kind of make that decision. So I think what we'll do when we come back next week, we will literally take this.
Yeah.
So I would ask that you all kind of think to yourselves throughout the week, like above and beyond, like the idea, like what would your character do in a situation where they're offered near everlasting life and wealth? Like, what would that mean for them?
Sounds too good to be true.
Yeah, I mean, it's something
The
to
sum
think
is
about.
too princely.
Yeah.
It's 600 gold. I mean, come on. She could have offered 500, and it would have been
Yeah.
like more than
or 50.
or 50. It would have been more than most people would ever dream of having. It just doesn't seem right.
Build a manor on the hill. Corruption's night.
Yeah.
I got 3.
I rolled a 7. So if you didn't move toward, or if you didn't have any corruption, choose if you want to move one step on order or one step on chaos rank. Let's go around the table. Let's start first with. I'm going to start actually with Ms. Rob.
So, Mr. Rob's order alignment is skepticism, and I was trying to lean into that tonight because despite the fact that these people are, ostensibly pious, they seem mighty dang suspicious. So, he was kind of, poking in areas where normally it just doesn't seem right that someone should do such a thing, and everyone was kind of questioning him. But I think that it kind of fits in line with the character in doing so. So that's why I was doing what I was doing.
Yeah, that's good. You seem like to expect a Richin. Obviously, only your second session, Tim. It's our third.
Yeah, I think in the beginning, we kind of just thought, what the hell are these people doing? They're like defiling the sanctity of a church, and like getting to the body was enough, in his brain. But then he saw the results, and after seeing that, hearing him, and everything else. Yeah, this is outside of his wheelhouse.
What about Grafala?
Grafala's just there for a good time. Not like, to be honest, Grafala's not the one that tells people where to go or figures out the location to go. She's the one that figures out how to get inside.
Yeah.
It's kind of been her MO most of her life. So at this point, she's just listening to all these things that this woman is promising and going, yeah, but when you gonna kill us? That's
right. And that's exactly what I was saying. What about Maximilian? What about Lander?
Yeah,
what about me?
Yeah, like she's not sitting here thinking that maybe this is.
So when the Muse needs its next switch.
Yeah. So she's just kind of going, yeah, all right, because she uses people. She expects everybody else to use her. So that's kind of just where she's at.
Let's move next to Matt Maryland.
I mean, so Matt, being a gambler, tends to try to figure out the game that's being played, right? And there's two factors to that: the players and what the game is. So he's still trying to figure out all the players, because right now it's being portrayed that there's only two sides, like Witchhammer and these Fulci. But he feels like there's other people involved. He's suspecting that there's probably two factions of the Fulcis, this Lord's faction and maybe this Reverend's faction. And that the Lord's faction is going to try to be more, try to draw more from Swanzi, more inspiration by sacrificing people. And so he's thinking that the best thing to do, if the goal is to get rid of Witchhammer, is to play a game that gets them to go away without actually killing them, because he thinks killing them will draw more people in, and then if he can do that, get his money and get the hell out of town. Because I mean, he's an old man. I mean, he may live a little bit longer, or he may get sacrificed as an outsider. So, because he's kind of thinking, we're probably not the first people to do this for them, just because there have been 0 reported murders doesn't mean there haven't been murders. Okay? It's like if you stop counting diseases, then it's not like the disease went away. It's there. You're just not counting it anymore.
Yeah.
Or if nobody reports the guy that's traveling through town happened to disappear.
Right.
This is like a alliteration to COVID. Like a year and a half ago, we're like, it's not a big deal. Like, nobody's sick. It's like, actually, there's more who's not reporting it. Yeah. So I think that's a really good point. There's one thing that kind of really occurred to me tonight, and I was wondering, if you all would play kind of like the Sanjuro thing, where it's like play both sides against one another, proper from both, whatever it may be. Nonetheless, very intriguing, regardless. So let's move finally to Geppetto.
I'm having a very interesting time playing someone who doesn't understand a lot and is trying to rapidly understand. And how do you play that while also playing compassion?
Yeah.
And so, you know, it was just like, you've been crying. I have my sympathies. Like, that's like the best way I could think of playing compassion. But I'm having a lot of fun sticking to the concept of like, well, we're going to figure out this mystery mainly by asking questions. And so, like, we're definitely past the point that I have played before. So I don't really know what to expect from here on out. But I'm just staying in that line of like, okay, we're going to figure out this mystery by asking all of the questions and trying to make sense of it. And I feel like that's, I mean, maybe I should not do so bluntly with all of my characters, but when we do mysteries, maybe I should remind myself to do that more often and just like rehash things and ask those questions, because it seems to put things together a lot more. Yeah, but I'm having fun, you know, stating the obvious, being Captain Obvious.
Sometimes that
When
It works really well for your character, though, too, being one of the Awakened.
yeah, it's kind of fun. So
Well, we will continue next week for session 4 of Secret of Swanzi. Thank you all for watching. If this video is up before the end of Kickstarter, thank you if you've already pledged. Please consider pledging if you haven't. Smash that subscribe button like we asked. If we're very, very wrong. Only if we're wrong, though.
Smash it.
Smash it!
Smash the smash.
Or
Right.
you can just click it.
And we'll see you all next week for more Secret of Swanzi.
Yeah, what's magic?
Bye.
bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.